in every department on items I buy every day, both in-store and online. Stores. So check out Hy-Vee today and get those low prices only at Hy-Vee.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
We were the Humane Society of the United States. 70 years of fighting for animals. Today, we are called Humane World for Animals, a name that reflects our unstoppable commitment to end animal cruelty globally. Humane World for Animals, the end of animal cruelty.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-359-3434. 800-359-3434.
It's February. What is more romantic than a new toilet? 2. This month we are offering buy one, get one half off a toilet replacement. Win those brownie points and call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Who is the area's only dealer for Fronius professional welding equipment? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Wake up with Fesco and Dusty. Weekdays starting at 6 on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
I am really excited to be joined by our next guest. Joel Corey of CBS Sports is going to join us on the show. There are not too many people in the media that know and understand the NFL salary cap much more than our next guest. Really excited to discuss it and break down the Kansas City Chiefs. Joel, happy to have you join us on the show today, man. Really appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's start with this. From a financial standpoint, what does it mean for Travis Kelce to come back to play for Kansas City? What would it mean for Kansas City if Travis Kelce decides that he is going to retire?
Well, the decision has to come maybe sooner than what he wanted his timetable to be, because the third day of the league year is March 14th, and he has an $11.5 million roster bonus due. Now, what they could do, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this Green Bay quarterback who used to him and haw play this retirement dance every year. And there was one year the Packers and Brett Favre pushed it back the date of his roster bonus like 4 times in 1 year. So that could be done. Given that Kelce has $17.25 million in cash this year, has a $19.8 million cap hit, you'd save all the cash, enough is guaranteed, if he decides to retire. You'd be left with $2.55 million in dead money, but you would need to find a number one tight end unless they were confident that Noah Gray could assume that role. He signed a 3-year extension for base value of $6 million per year, $18 million over 3 years, right before the regular season started.
So I'm looking at Travis Kelce's cap number for next year. It's at $19.8 million. Do you think the Chiefs are going to carry Kelce with that high of a cap hit, or is there something that you can do for this upcoming season that obviously rewards him for the kind of player that he's been in his career? You pay him a certain amount of money, and you get that cap number down to create some flexibility to add to the rest of your roster.
Well, since he's a year-to-year proposition, this is the last year of his deal. I'm not touching it. I'm not adding voiding dummy years. So I've got dead money next year. I'd rather keep him, leave it alone, have him play for the $17.25 million, and then he's off the books next year. If he wants to come back, then you got to negotiate a new deal for whatever that may be, given he is a declining player now. Granted, his down years are better than most tight ends' good years, but given he's a little long in the tooth, then I don't want to have residual cap charges in the future with him.
Right now, we're talking to Joel Corey, and we are going through some of the salary cap implications for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know this isn't a money thing, but more just what do you think? How do you think this plays itself out with Travis Kelce? I think he's going to play one more season. I think this is going to mirror what happened with his brother. After losing the Super Bowl to Kansas City, Jason came back for one more year, and that was his final year in the league. I think we're going to see the exact same pattern with Travis. I think he plays this upcoming season in the league, and I don't think that he renegotiates another deal. I think that 2025 would be the last season of Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to go out on this note if I'm him. It'd be one thing if you lost a close game and he played well. That'd be easy, maybe easier to accept than a blowout where you are a non-factor. So if I had to bet money, and I'm not going to bet on this, I would bet that he would come back.
So let's go through the Chiefs' decision. At least it's being reported that they're not going to use the franchise tag. Is that what you expected? Are you surprised by that? They've got a couple of free agents. We'll specifically go through their free agents and get your opinion on Nick Bolton and Trey Smith. But are you surprised that the Chiefs are deciding to not use the franchise tag?
No, not really, because the way the offensive line tag number works, it's not position specific. There's not a guard, center, and a tackle one. It's lumped together, which means it's basically a number based on left tackles. And you rarely see interior offensive linemen get the franchise tag. You did see that the Commanders in 20 and 2021 did use it 2 years in a row on Brandon Scherf. Before that, you had to go back to who was it? Logan Mankins in 2011 was one of the last guys to receive it. Joe Thuney in 2020 got it from the Patriots. But you really don't see offensive linemen getting franchise tags, particularly when that number doesn't really relate to the guard market. Because depending upon where the cap is ultimately set, the range for this number is going to be $23.259 million to $23.594 million. The highest paid guard for now is Landon Dickerson. He's got a deal which is 4 years, $84 million, averages $21 million per year. The max value of the deal is $87 million per year, $87 million total. I expect Trey Smith to become the highest paid guard in the league, whether it's with Kansas City or somebody else in free agency.
If you had to guess, do you think that contract comes from Kansas City or comes from someone else? They did pony up last year, and they spent big-time money on Chris Jones. But you know how this works. You can't pay everybody. Trey Smith is an interior offensive lineman. He's going to be the highest paid at his position. Do you think he's back in Kansas City next year?
Probably not. You guys had to make a choice on which guy from his draft class to sign. You paid Creed Humphrey, which you had to do. He's the best center in football. He's the highest paid center at $18 million per year. He reset the market. Now, the problem on your line is the mistake deal you made with Juwan Taylor. and that's the gift that keeps on giving because 2025 is fully guaranteed. Signing him, making him, and putting him in $20 million per year offensive lineman club when it didn't have a whole lot of members when you signed him, that's turned out to be a bad deal. If I'm Trey Smith's agent, I'm looking at the fact that you brought in an outsider to play left guard when you signed him. Joe Tooney made him the highest paid guard at $16 million per year in 2021. So you're definitely going to have to make me the highest paid guard to stay here, but I suspect it's probably going to be someplace else.
Yeah, that's what I would guess as well. If you had to throw out a team or teams that make sense, we've heard a couple of different options. Chicago has been one that I've seen rumored.
Yeah, that's the one that makes the most sense to me because what you really want to do with Caleb Williams is have a strong offensive line, have a glaring need at guard and center.
Right now, we're talking to Joel Corey going through some salary cap decisions for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's move down the line. Let's talk about Nick Bolton. I never thought he was a option to be franchise tagged, but could you see him back in Kansas City? He's a really difficult one, at least for me, to kind of wrap my arms around because his market either you pay big time money for a guy or those guys just kind of get 1 year, $8 million kind of deals. I'm not really sure how the league feels about Nick Bolton and what that contract looks like.
Yeah, off-ball linebackers don't get franchised. The last time that happened was David Harris in 2011. If there's going to be an off-ball linebacker that would get that consideration, and the price tag is way too high, it would be Zach Bonks. That number is going to be over $25 million. It's going to be between $25.3 and $25.6. The highest paid off-ball linebacker is Roquan Smith at $20 million per year. That market has not moved very much. Bobby Wagner in 2018, the future first ballot Hall of Famer, $18 million per year, basically 6 years ago. It's gone up $2 million since then. I don't see it going up with anybody this year. You've had some guys get in the $10, $11, $12 million per year range in free agency. I'd imagine Bolton has taken note of Patrick Queen last year. That was the highest paid off-ball linebacker, $41 million over 3 years ago to the Steelers. That's basically $13.7 a year. The most recent data point is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah signing a 3-year extension with the Browns, $37.5 million over 3 years. Max is at $39 million, which had $20 million fully guaranteed at signing, $25 million overall guarantees. The thing with Kansas City is you got Drew Tranquill as one guy. You've got Leo Chenal waiting in the wings, so he could come in and become a full-time player if Bolton prices himself out of Kansas City. But it very well could be these guys are tricky. Sometimes they don't get paid, and if he's looking at the market falling out, the bottom falling out, maybe he comes back to Kansas City because he knows he can be successful here on a 1-year prove-it deal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think could happen with Nick Bolton, exactly what you just said there at the end, that, you know, you try free agency, the market isn't what you thought it was going to be, but you can come back to Kansas City on a 1-year deal, a decent base salary with some incentives that you get a pretty sizable raise from you being a second-round pick, but also you don't really break the bank, so to speak, and you stay in a defense that obviously you know very well and a system and scheme that you've had a lot of success in. I kind of think that's the best-case scenario. I mean, putting the two players out there, it's far more likely that Bolton is back on next year's team than Trey Smith would be on next year's team.
Oh, yeah, because if Trey Smith has at least two teams besides the Chiefs looking to re-sign him, you can kiss that goodbye because the agent's going to play those other two teams against each other. He'll keep Kansas City in the loop knowing that it's going to be too rich for their blood. But the interesting thing with Kansas City and offensive line, we'll get back to that for a second. Joe Tooney will be 33 in November, and 2025 is his contract year. He still worked the $16 million he's supposed to make at left guard. I think you don't want to move him back out to tackle for full time. We saw that the Super Bowl didn't go all that well, and you basically weakened two positions. So that whole side of the line was a weakness for the Super Bowl. But you got a 33-year-old guy. If you extend him, you're starting to get to those years where he's going to be declining. So that's a dicey proposition as well, although he's playing well.
Right now, we're talking to Joel Corey, former sports agent. There is not too many people that understand the salary cap better than our guest, Joel Corey. Happy to have him join us on the show today. Let's get to a couple extensions for the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Thuney is a prime candidate for this in the final year of his deal. I also would be very intrigued in trying to extend Trent McDuffie as well. He is now out of his third season. You can start to negotiate with him. He's one of the best young corners in the National Football League. That price only gets bigger. You can go ahead and reward him. Also start to kind of manipulate the cap to figure out how you want to build the rest of your roster. Those are two guys that seem prime for an extension in my mind.
As I said, I don't know if I want to do an extension for 33-year-old Thuney unless he's going to start taking less money than on the deal that got him to Kansas City, and I don't know if he'd be willing to do that given the guard market has significantly escalated since he was made the highest paid guard 4 years ago. Typically, when you have a Pro Bowl caliber player on a rookie contract, you try to extend them at the earliest possible instance. That'd be McDuffie's case. You did that with Eric Fisher years ago, the former first overall pick in the draft. The quarterback market grew a little bit last year, but good corners are harder to find than wide receivers, but wide receivers make a whole lot more money than corners, so there still needs to be a market correction. If I'm McDuffie, I can exercise a little bit of patience. I want to see if Sauce Gardner had a down year gets a deal done, and I want to see if Stingley from the Texans gets a deal done. They'll go past the reigning defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain II's $24 million per year. I want to let them move the needle, and then I want to come in and have those deals in the marketplace and capitalize on that if I'm Trent McDuffie.
A couple more questions here for Joel Corey, getting his thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs. Joel, let's start with left tackle here from this perspective. DJ Humphries, let's say you want to bring him back on a one-year deal. What would that one-year contract look for Humphries?
Probably no more than what he was going to make this year with a whole bunch of incentives. There's a reason you didn't play him in the playoffs, so maybe he's not the injured older guy. If I'm going to take a flyer on an older guy, I might look at Tyron Smith, who's a better player, but getting him through 17 games, that's a dicey proposition. He's free. That might be one way to go. Maybe you draft a left tackle. You may have to move up to try to get in a position to get one, but you definitely got to find something at left tackle.
Yeah, I'm with you at left tackle. The Chiefs usually take a big swing. Ronnie Stanley is out there. Dan Moore Jr., who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's an option. But if they're going to go that veteran route, Tyron Smith makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if you're talking that cheap guy, incentive-laden contract, because that's what he did that last year in Dallas, took a pay cut, had a ton of incentives in there. This year, I think the base value was like 6, could have made up to 20, didn't make any of the incentives because he didn't get through the season. So you'd have to have a plan B with him, knowing that he may not get through the whole season. That's why you may not want to go that route. Ronnie Stanley finally played every game in a season for the first time in his career. He's not quite what he was when he signed his big deal, which made him the second highest paid tackle in 2020, but he's still pretty damn good and still young enough to get paid. Tyler Decker signed for over $20 million per year, who's, I think, when Stanley's healthy, isn't quite him. So you're north of $20 million per year with Ronnie Stanley, so I don't think that really would work for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you here to wrap this thing up is, do you think they could even take on a contract like that? When you think of the things that they have to pay for coming up, when you think of the free agents that they have in this class, you mentioned at right tackle and paying Jawan Taylor and how you think that contract has been a mistake. Do you think they can have Jawan Taylor? They've already paid Creed Humphrey.
Ain't no think to that. He's a penalty waiting to happen.
No, you ain't lying there. I just was wondering if they can have Jawan Taylor at that salary and they could have somebody like Ronnie Stanley on the left side. That's a lot of money invested in tackle.
Well, Taylor's only one more year because he's gone after. Unless he turns into the second coming of Penei Sewell, he's not around in 2026. So theoretically, yes, you'd have to go the old Jeremy Maclin, Dwayne Bowe, modest first-year cap number, ballooning second-year cap number. Well, you've always got your break glass in case of emergency restructure with Patrick Mahomes, who does have a $66.25 million cap hit, which is third in the league. It's just a matter of how much of that you want to kick the can down the road and lower the cap number. And you've got Chris Jones, who's got the second highest paid defensive cap number, $34.85 million. Those are two safe guys if you want to kick the can down the road and then try to create room to accommodate like a Ronnie Stanley or someone like that.
That is Joel Corey joining us on the show today to give us his thoughts on the Chiefs salary cap. Always great information about what the Chiefs could possibly be doing. Joe, we hope to have you on once moves actually start happening to figure out what it means for the Chiefs and the rest of the league. We appreciate your time today. Thanks for popping on today.
All right, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's Joel Corey joining us on the show today. Always very detailed information about the salary cap and what it means for the Chiefs. I thought what he said there at the end, Rob, was pretty interesting about left tackle and what the Chiefs could do. You always have the Patrick Mahomes contract break in case of emergency. It is designed in a way that you can always pull from the bank of Patrick Mahomes and move some money around from his deal to make sure that you go get what you need. If the Chiefs want to take the biggest swing possible at the position, it is obvious to me that that is Ronnie Stanley. If you right now have the stance that left tackle is by far and away their biggest need, you don't care about the money, you want the best one that's available, and you will figure out how to pay for it later, then Ronnie Stanley is the best option. There is the high-end option. I would say there is the mid-tier option, and there are a couple of those. Cam Robinson, I think, is going to be a decent mid-tier option at left tackle. If you want the low end, that's Tyron Smith. I would say that that's DJ Humphries. Or you have the opportunity to always go in the draft, and you're going to get the cheapest of all of these options. But with where you pick, you're going to either have to move up in the NFL draft to get exactly what you want, or you're going to have to hope that you hit on a second-round pick or later at a very, very important position of need for your team.
It is interesting, though. He didn't phrase it as borrowing from the bank of Mahomes. He said it's a safe decision to kick that can down the road. He also mentioned Chris Jones kicking that can down the road. I don't think Chris Jones really is a safe decision to kick the can down the road based on his age. I understand if you are a left tackle or bust person, why you would say maneuver around, get the bank of Patrick Mahomes, and get it left tackle done. I think it's also worth noting Joel Corey said Trey Smith ain't coming back, and Joe Thuney's restructure is problematic because it's going to start at $16 million, and he's 33 years old, which is what he's owed. So this offseason, the Chiefs have massive, massive questions. And this is Joel Corey talking. He did not seem like he was a fan of the Jawan Taylor contract, which at least for another year, you got to kind of eat it there. So, and Creed Humphreys is the highest paid center. So I am not a left tackle or bust person. But if you are a left tackle or bust person, part of that bust includes extending a 33-year-old left guard and losing your top flight right guard. So there is no perfect answer. I don't love DJ Humphries. I be team Ronnie Stanley, but I'm also team don't pay guards. So maybe I just fall into a different category than most fans.
I mean, I would say that if you were on the side, and a lot of you were on this side, that you were going to protect Patrick Mahomes at any cost, that's what it costs to protect him with Jawan Taylor. Now, I do think that you've missed on it. And because you want to protect your quarterback so much, you have signed yourself into a bad contract with Jawan Taylor. Did you guys know that Jawan Taylor's contract, right tackle over there for the Chiefs, Jawan Taylor, his cap hit is 10% of the salary cap for next season. 10%. Rob, his salary cap is $27.3 million next year for the Kansas City Chiefs. You have a very high base salary for him. You have prorated the signing bonus. You reached a restructure with him. His contract, as smart as the Patrick Mahomes deal is, it is equally as bad what they got Jawan Taylor at right now. So I would say with Jawan, some of you might be frustrated. Hey, we don't want him anymore. We don't want him anymore. You don't have a choice for this upcoming season. There's nothing you can do. I'm done moving money around for Jawan Taylor's deal. You got one more year left on Jawan Taylor's contract. I know it looks like a 4-year, $80 million deal. It doesn't have to be. You can make it a 3-year, $60 million deal. You can cut Jawan Taylor at the end of this upcoming season, and you will save $20 million by getting him off the team. You got to just tread water this one more year with that deal. Don't talk to me about Pro Football Focus. I watch the games. The Jawan Taylor contract is bad. The Jawan Taylor contract does limit you from other things that you want to do. You can carry a bad contract or two. You don't have to hit and get maximum value on every single one of these deals, but I do think you have to realize that, man, part of why they're not going to be able to do what they want to do is you're paying Jawan Taylor a lot of money to be all right over there. And there's not any flexibility with this deal. You have run out of the flexibility with Jawan Taylor's contract. So I'm with him on Trey Smith. I just, from a number standpoint, the math doesn't really work for Trey Smith. And I think the best case scenario with Nick Bolton is you let Nick Bolton go see the market for himself. The market doesn't come together the way he thinks it's going to come together. You got a choice now. You can sign a 1-year deal in Kansas City and continue to be in a system that you really like. You like the coaching staff. You like the team. You win. You play at a high level. You can sign that deal, or you just go play somewhere else. I mean, that's happened before. Willie Gay, he signed a 1-year, $3 million deal. He went to go play for the New Orleans Saints. He's about to hit free agency again. So maybe Nick Bolton comes back next year, but I mean, some of it is position, some of it is the money. It is far more likely that Bolton is on the team next year than Trey Smith. It's going to be really, really hard to keep Trey Smith on the team, just from a financial standpoint. You just heard what Joel Corey had to say. There's going to be a legitimate bidding war for Trey Smith. If I'm Trey Smith's agent, I'm telling him, at least see the offers. Let me go to the combine. Let me make some phone calls. This is why you give me 4% of your contract, is to go out there and get you the best deal. We can get you not just a deal from Kansas City. We can get you a Carolina, a Commanders, a Chicago. Now, I know you want to go win, but you also want to sign this deal to set up you and the rest of your family, and that's why you hired me to be your agent. So I think it's going to be really, really difficult. I think it's going to be very, very difficult to keep Trey Smith in Kansas City. All right, coming up on the other side, you know what I love? I love a really good idea. And hockey had a great idea with this Four Nations tournament that they have going on. They have a championship game coming up later today. If it is a compelling game in the third period, I think the numbers are going to reflect that a lot of people were interested in this event. There is also another good idea that is happening that no one knows about. Well, why not expand it? I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 5.25% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
From fast breaks to buzzer beaters to block parties, there's nothing as exciting as basketball. With Underdog, you can bring that excitement to wherever you watch. Playing on their app is as easy as choosing higher or lower on player stats like threes made, points, rebounds, and so much more. I love the Underdog app. So get those selections right, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. It's so much fun. Millions of fans have won over billions on Underdog. Will you be the next? It's simple to join the fun. Join in by signing up for the Underdog app today using promo code BOB, and you'll get a free selection as part of your first cash entry, plus up to 1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.com. Men,
this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction, and if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Heartland Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with the rotors.
Free. Really?
Really, free.
Okay, I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with 5 quarts of oil.
Free? Really?
Really, free. It's part of the A to Z savings event.
You might as well call it A to free.
At AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Taking a look across the metro, traffic moving smoothly, nothing slowing things down. A couple of stalled cars, but those are off on the shoulder. Eastbound 70 looking good, 13 minutes from the Paseo to 470. Northbound 435 is 7 minutes from Metropolitan to K5. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Trent McDuffie. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Thursday. I never want to stand in the way of what I would deem to be great ideas. The Four Nations is a great idea. At one point, somebody sat there and said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do a traditional all-star game. And one of the beauties of our sport is people play it around the world. So what if we got players from the United States and players from Canada and players from a couple of other countries? And why don't we do that instead of an all-star game? And you know what? Somebody was like, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. Maybe we should do that. That works for me. Great. Let's try it. And it's worked. It was a big success. We need more of those kind of ideas. Somebody had the idea. Hey, you know what? We have a lot of hockey games. What if we took some of these hockey games and instead of playing them in the same old boring arenas that we've been playing in, what if we played them outside at cool places? What if we took this same hockey idea and we put this inside Yankee Stadium? Would that be cool? Somebody was like, yeah, that would be cool. I mean, they've played these things at Lake Tahoe. They've played these things at Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium. That is a great idea. You know what we need more? Great regular season ideas. The NBA has a great regular season idea. It's just time for them to expand it. Did you guys know that the Suns and the Spurs are playing a basketball game? And you would think, well, obviously, they're the most in the Western Conference. I'm sure it's going to be in Phoenix or San Antonio. No. It is not. It was at Austin, Texas, where Kevin Durant went to college. Wait, an idea went off. Instead of creating these nonsense tournaments that no one feels a connection to, what if we did this? Listen to this idea. You know how in college football they have rivalry week, where all the rivals play on 1 week of the season? It's great. We just saw it this past year. It was fights and people throwing flags, and it was amazing. It was great. You know how in college basketball they have feast week? Feast week is great. Right before Thanksgiving, you get some of the best college basketball that the sport has to offer. Teams just matched up against each other. Every time you go home, you know you're going to get a great matchup. Gonzaga, Illinois. Then you got KU against Duke. It's phenomenal. Feast week. What if the NBA decided to do this? What if they decided to have a week and they called it, I don't know, Big Man Campus on week? And you have players go back to their alma mater and play games at their stadium. And you promote it. Hey, this week, we're not playing in NBA arenas. Every team in the NBA is going to play a game at a college venue. So you get Anthony Edwards, who went to Georgia. You have him go back and he plays a game in front of his home fans. You get Kevin Durant to go back and play a game in front of their home fans. You get Chris Paul to play a game at Wake Forest in his final year. You see where this thing is heading. If your teams, you need to figure out a way to make your regular season feel more special. The NFL doesn't really have to do those gimmicks. People are invested in the NFL regular season. The NFL has connected in a way that you hate to miss a regular season game. No one hates to miss regular season hockey games, basketball games, or they don't. So you got to give them a reason to watch in. When baseball does the Field of Dream games, people tune in and watch it because it's cool. When they did the Negro Leagues game this past season, it was cool. People watched it. They wanted to be a part of it. Why can't you do the same thing with basketball? You have some of the most iconic venues in America. Use them. You're telling me the Pacers can't play one game in Hinkle Fieldhouse where Hoosiers was set? You're telling me that you can't figure out a way to get you're telling me that you can't put the Dallas Mavericks with Kyrie Irving? You can't put him for one game back at Cameron Indoor Stadium and tell some cool stories, and Kyrie gets to play in front of the home fans for one more time? That you wouldn't be interested to see what it looks like? There's an idea here with the NBA, and I'm giving them an idea for free. My main focus with the NBA is just going to be very simple. Get the main thing back to being the main thing. That's it. And if your argument is many of the best NBA players don't go to colleges, yes, some of them, a large majority of them still do. I mean, Joel Embiid went to college, right? He went to Kansas. Kevin Durant went to college, right? He went to a school. Steph Curry went to a college. Anthony Edwards went to a school. Jalen Brunson went to a college. Sure, there's like 7 players in the league that this doesn't fit for. Like 7 of them. Yeah, you're right. You can't do this with Luka Doncic. You can do this with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's about to win NBA MVP. You can do this with Jason Tatum. He went to college. So yes, you can do this idea. 1 week in the NBA. You guys got nothing but free time. Pick a week. Pick it in March, right before the NCAA tournament. They're not using the stadiums. They're in conference play. Hey, we're gonna celebrate our sport and the connection between college basketball. We're gonna have LeBron play a game at Ohio State and have him go back to Ohio and play a game in front of his fans. This would be a phenomenal idea. The NBA, think about it.
I think the idea is good by the NBA, but when you told me earlier today, you asked me, hey, do you know where the Suns and Spurs game is being played? I didn't know. This is a good idea by the NBA. Why are they not advertising it better? Why am I not flooded on my social media and on television with, hey, Kevin Durant returns to Austin tonight, Spurs and Suns? Like, we crush baseball for being bad at marketing. But you know what? Everyone who is in the sports sphere knew about the Field of Dreams game. Who was playing, when it was, what time, what channel. I am a casual NBA fan. I'm not as hardcore as you or maybe some others. I had no idea that Suns and Spurs were in Austin tonight. How have they not supported this idea if it's that good?
You want to know what I think happened is? I think the hockey thing took off. You can't promote both today. You can't promote both today. I think that's what happened. I think the hockey thing is a much bigger deal than they had anticipated it being. They got 4.5 million people on Saturday that watched it. That's more people than have watched a college basketball game this year, watched a exhibition hockey game on Saturday night. So I think all of the sports marketing push has been, hey, let's push people in this direction. And you're also not going to have Victor Wembanyama play in that game now. He's out for the rest of the season, which in pretty NBA fashion, they had a cool idea, and yet one of the stars is not going to play in the idea. And it just kind of got, but I'm with you. I agree with you at the core. You have a phenomenal idea. Push it, promote it, expand it. You're looking for ways to spice up the regular season. This is the way to spice it up. It'd be cool to see the Mavericks play the Raptors at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Let college kids come in, create a student section. It'd be fun. People would watch it. People would be engaged in your regular season games. Just think about it.
I like the NFL to do this for preseason games. We all know season ticket holders hate the preseason games. They get slapped with them. We hate the preseason games. They serve no purpose. You know what's better than watching one quarter of Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead play against the Lions? Play that game in Lubbock. You know what they would do? They would sell out. They would sell out to watch Patrick Mahomes play one quarter of football.
Sure, I agree.
It's a good idea that I hope other sports emulate, but since no one knows it's even happening, I doubt other sports are going to follow suit. And the NFL treats its preseason games like they matter when they don't. But this should be something the NFL's doing,
too.
Yeah,
I'm with you. We'll obviously see what happens. The game's going to be on TNT, so we'll see what happens today. You know, inside the NBA, they'll be there, all of that stuff. So we'll see what happens. But I'm with you. The NBA, a problem that they have right now is just marketing and push, which just doesn't really make any sense just given the nature of basketball. But I don't know. I was like, wait, that game's in Austin? Like, why don't they do this more often? It just didn't really make...
Do you think they'll pause the game to honor Inside the NBA again, or is that unique to the All-Star game?
No, I don't think that's going to be the plan. I don't think they're going to pause the game to do that. Coming up on the other side, if you missed it, Diana Rossini is reporting that Travis Kelce is leaning towards coming back. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
What
is GMTVCC? That's a mouthful, but translation for GMTVCC.com is Give Me the VIN Classic and Collector Cars. It's a brand new buying division of Give Me the VIN, but it's for classic and collector cars. Experienced pro buyers will appraise an offer on your 1970 Hemi Cuda or 1988 Fox Body Mustang or your granddad's old 1985 square body Chevy truck. GMTVCC.com is where you go to get real money for classic and collector cars to get paid now. That's GMTVCC.com, brought to you by Give Me the VIN.
Are you ready to start feeling your absolute best? I've got the perfect solution. Stretch Zone, your destination for practitioner-assisted stretching. Whether you're an athlete looking to enhance performance or someone seeking relief from the daily grind, Stretch Zone's personalized stretching sessions cater to all levels and lifestyles. Unleash your potential. Let Stretch Zone guide you to a healthier, more flexible you. 6 area locations. Book your session today at StretchZone.com. Stretch Zone. Stretch, work, play, repeat.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
This is Larry Ryan at Ryan Lawn and Tree, and right now before the leaves fill in, it's a great time to care for your trees. You can also save 15% on our tree services, but only if you book before March 1st. Save 15% today at RyanLawn.com/tree.
Business taxes. We're stressing about all the time and all the money you spent on your taxes.
This is my bill?
Now Business Taxes is a TurboTax small business expert who does your taxes for you and offers year-round advice at no additional cost, so you can keep more money in your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com/business. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service.
The county just requested more electric charging stations.
Orders have really amped up at Able Electric.
We need 3 more at First and Main, and we just got another hotel chain.
It's no shock. Able Electric needs able electricians.
Grocery store wants charging stations too.
And fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with the rotors.
Free. Really?
Really, free.
Okay, I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with 5 quarts of oil.
Free? Really?
Really, free. It's part of the A to Z savings event.
You might as well call it A to free.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Traffic-wise, things are moving smoothly. Northbound 435, 7 minutes from Metropolitan to K5. Eastbound 70, 13 minutes from the Paseo to 470. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast, so hurry to Metro Ford. Online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT every week during the season, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll be joined by Tom Hart. He is with SEC Network. He covers the Missouri Tigers. And Missouri gets their third top 5 win of the season. They wire to wire, really played well yesterday and beat Alabama. A lot of people think that Alabama can be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Missouri also beat Florida earlier this year. Florida is also a team that people believe can be a 1 seed. Diana Rossini of The Athletic, she was on the Rich Eisen show earlier today, and she believes, at least she is reporting, that Kelsey is leaning towards coming back.
You know, I can tell you from just having a few conversations with people around the league over the last few days, there's definitely a sense that Travis is going to try to play more. I haven't heard anyone say, yeah, he's really struggling with what he wants to do. It's definitely leaning more towards that. That can, of course, change. This is going to be his decision only. But for this Chiefs operation, looking to move forward here, I think they feel pretty good that Travis has got a little bit more left in him.
That is Diana Rossini of The Athletic and her reporting that Travis Kelsey is leaning towards coming back. I also believe that Travis Kelsey is going to come back. I think we'll find out in the next 10 days or so that Travis Kelsey has made a decision on what he wants to do, and I believe he's going to play next season and his final season for the Chiefs. We had Matt Verderam on to discuss this, and here's what he says he believes is the future for the Chiefs Hall of Fame tight end.
I think he's going to play one more year. I think he's going to come back and play one more year. I think that it becomes delicate, though, for the Chiefs in this regard. Look, he is still a good football player. He made the Pro Bowl this year, and it wasn't one of these, like, charity. He deserved to make it. He was, other than Brock Bowers, the second best tight end in the AFC. By the same token, he physically is a shell of who he was 2 years ago. They need to start running this offense through Xavier Worthy, who is, look, all that Super Bowl is a massive bright spot. They need to run it through Rashee Rice when he gets back from what might be a suspension or certainly just his injury. Kelsey needs to be a third option, a fourth option in this passing game, where they can go, hey, Travis, listen, we're going to give you half the first-team reps during the week. I know he likes to practice every rep. That can't be his choice anymore. They've got to keep him fresh. Instead, he averages for his career about 135 targets per season. That number's got to be like 90. It's got to be, maybe even a little lower than that. Like, they've got to start putting him in bubble wrap. And, look, the Pats and the Bucs did that with Gronk the last handful of years of his career. Like, there's no shame in that.
That was Matt Verderam when we asked him about Travis Kelsey and what he believes his future to be. I've told you guys that if Kelsey wants to keep playing football for the Chiefs, it would make a lot of sense to me. The only thing I would say for Kelsey is you just have to assume that you're going to be a role player for the Chiefs. If you're coming in a basketball analogy to knock down a couple of threes and play defense, I believe the Chiefs should be happy to have you come back. But if you were expecting anything more than that, I don't know, man. I don't know if that is going to work out. Just because I don't think you're that player anymore. I don't think it really makes a lot of sense for the Chiefs to kind of highlight you as that player. So let's talk about this for a little bit, and we'll get to some college basketball here coming up in a little bit with Tom Hart. But Rob Manfred is doing the rounds. Baseball season is about to start. There actually is a spring training game that starts today. Royal Spring Training starts tomorrow, so baseball is in the air. A lot of people are upset at the amount of money that the Los Angeles Dodgers spent this offseason. They spent a lot of money this offseason. The Los Angeles Dodgers spent $445 million in baseball contracts. That's not counting what they've already given Shohei Ohtani. That's not counting any of the other money that they've already committed to players. That is simply what they have committed just this offseason on talent. The two teams that have the highest payroll in Major League Baseball, the Mets have $321 million. The Dodgers have $313 million. That is at the top. You go all the way down to the bottom of the screen. The Miami Marlins spend $47 million. The average payroll in baseball is $150 million. You were telling me that the team that is at number one, as opposed to what the average is, the median in baseball is twice the amount. The Royals, they spend $117 million. The Mets spend $200 million more on their team and payroll and salary than the Royals. How is this a system that works for anybody? This is what confuses me the most about it is, yes, there are big market teams in baseball, the same way that there are in any sport that we follow. But it's way more small cities than big cities. How is this system working for you if you're Baltimore or Minnesota or Kansas City or Cincinnati or Milwaukee? Why haven't you guys teamed up? Why haven't you guys come together as a voting bloc and said, we're not doing this anymore? This system is not good for us. The NFL works because the rules are fair for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're in Kansas City or Green Bay or Jacksonville, you have the same opportunities to win as Los Angeles and New York. Now, that doesn't mean that you will win. It comes to other things, luck, roster management, draft, talent evaluation. You still have to put the work in, but everybody is on the same playing field. Everybody's not on the same playing field in Major League Baseball. And this is the system that everybody is just signed up for and everybody's just fine with. So you're fine with the fact that a player can hit free agency and you have no chance to sign him? That's not the case in the NBA. Every team can sign every player in the league. Now, the player has a choice, but every team can sign every player. In football, every team can sign every player. You don't hear a situation in which Josh Allen's contract is coming up and you're thinking, well, he can't sign there. It's in Buffalo. No, he can sign in Buffalo. They can financially pay him. What are we doing here? How are we signed up for a system that if you're the Royals and you draft Aaron Judge, at some point you know you're not going to be able to keep him? That's not a viable way of team distribution. So obviously people are asking the commissioner, we're mad about this. What are you doing about this? Here's what he said.
The Dodgers have gone out and done everything possible, always within the rules that currently exist, to put the best possible team on the field. And I think that's a great thing for the game. That type of competitive spirit is what people want to see. By the same token, I said this at the owners' meetings, I'll say it again. It's clear that we have fans in some markets that are concerned about the ability of the team in their market to compete with the financial resources of the Dodgers. And I think if we've been consistent on one point, it is we try to listen to our fans on topics like this. And I have heard people on this, believe me. I get a lot of emails about it.
No one is saying that the Dodgers are circumventing the rules. We're saying that you need to change the rules. You need what football has. You need a salary cap ceiling. You also need a salary cap floor. That's what you need. Look at the NBA. The NBA, very viable in small markets. This maybe was a complaint 10, 20 years ago about the league, but through collective bargaining, the best team in the NBA is in Oklahoma City. Milwaukee has won a championship in the NBA. Denver has won a championship. Toronto has won a championship. Everybody's viable. Now, again, you got to put the work in. If you're the Charlotte Hornets, yeah, you got to draft well. You got to develop well. You got to make some big trades. But we've seen a dynasty in San Antonio in the NBA. They have made it where small markets can be pretty viable. There's been one small market team that has won a championship in 50 years of Major League Baseball. One team. It's a league in which you can draft Bryce Harper with the number 1 overall pick, and you can start to count the days when he's going to go play for somebody else. You have no chance of keeping him on your roster. I don't think that's a great system of how you guys are doing things. The top needs to give up a little bit of power. The bottom needs to do a lot more. Spending $47 million on your payroll is embarrassing if you're the Marlins. It's embarrassing. It cannot be worse than what that is. You have to do better if you're the Miami Marlins. Coming up at the top of the hour, let's talk some college basketball. Tom Hart joins us on the show. He's a Mizzou alum. He also works for SEC Network. The Tigers are one of the 10 best teams in college basketball. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Traffic-wise, things are moving smoothly. Northbound 435, 7 minutes from Metropolitan to K5. Eastbound 70, 13 minutes from the Paseo to 470. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast, so hurry to Metro Ford. Online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Pheasants Forever's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is coming to the Kansas City Convention Center this March 7th through the 9th. Join us for puppy and dog training seminars, a youth village for kids, pollinator and wildlife habitat hunting gear in the 20th anniversary of Quail Forever. It's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic the weekend of March 7th. Presented by Pheasants Forever, Quail Forever, and Federal Ammunition. For more information, log on to pheasantfest.org.
Rob Site Ford. Non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com. 2025 is the year Rob Site Ford makes history. With non-commissioned sales staff, the lowest prices on brand new Fords, best trade-in values, and the biggest selection, we've got it all. Visit Rob Site Ford, the top-rated Ford dealership on Google. robsite.com.
I love Hy-Vee for so many different reasons, but one of the things I love most about Hy-Vee is their customer service. Everyone that works at Hy-Vee is awesome. And you know what else I love about Hy-Vee? I don't have to sacrifice quality and service to get low prices. Hy-Vee just dropped the price on thousands of items in every aisle, in every department, on items I buy every day, both in-store and online. Hy-Vee even match prices with the nation's biggest discount stores. So check out Hy-Vee today and get those low prices only at Hy-Vee.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with the rotors.
Free. Really?
Really, free.
Okay, I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with 5 quarts of oil.
Free? Really?
Really, free. It's part of the A to Z savings event.
You might as well call it A to free.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Go check out 96.5 The Fan's Instagram page for videos, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes content. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. The Missouri Tigers are one of the top stories in college basketball. Last year, they did not win a game the entire year in the SEC. This year, they are currently the 5 seed in the SEC, and they have 3 top 5 wins this season. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Tom Hart, who is an alum of Missouri University. He also does play-by-play work for SEC Network. Tom, always happy to have you on the show. I'm a little disappointed that yesterday's game was during the week. If it was a weekend game, I would have been there, but man, Mizzou Arena was rocking yesterday.
Yeah, it was on fire. I need to see his list. I mean, to me, this win means a lot, and it's incredibly valuable for a lot of different reasons. And I could bore you with the double bye in the SEC tournament and moving up a seed line in the NCAA tournament. But it's really, the way I look at it, big picture, continuation of what Dennis Gates has built this season. And I think maybe this is just biased because I was there, but I think the win against Kansas back in December is a notch above, because that was a warning shot. Like, hold on a second, this team can be really good, and this atmosphere can be amazing, which it has been off and on over the last few years. But to me, the Kansas win just kind of set the tone. Like, hold on, this is an experienced, skilled team. It's certainly not last year's team, and they can make a lot of noise. They've never had 2 top 5 home wins in the same season ever before. That really surprised me, especially go back to like late 80s, early 90s when Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri, I think that 89-90 season all rotated through the top, the top ranking in the country. They're all top 5 basically all season. But it's a great benchmark for Dennis Gates and his team.
I don't think Missouri gets enough credit for their home court advantage when things are good. Now, I would say in non-con, it's a little spotty, and if Missouri's not a top team, I would say that it's not really that advantage. But we've seen a couple of years ago the Michael Porter season when season tickets were high, excitement was high. It was a clear advantage for them to play in home games. A couple of years ago when they made the NCAA tournament, it was the same way. Missouri is one of the more fun teams in college basketball, and when that fan base is engaged, they have a true home court advantage that rivals most teams in college basketball.
You're 100% right, and especially within the SEC. My theory, though, is if you look at their recent history since they've been in the SEC, especially with the doldrums they had for a couple of years, I'm not even talking about last year, this league hasn't seen that. Right? They haven't seen it consistently. I had some friends from Alabama who went to the game yesterday, and they were blown away by the atmosphere. Well, they've never seen it like that before. Now, all the old school Big 12 coaches that I run into, Frank Martin used to rave about the atmosphere at Mizzou Arena. Other coaches would rave at Rodney Terry at Texas. Man, that place would rock. Or even what the Hearn Center was back in the day when the real old school coaches used to come in. But the majority of people within the SEC really haven't seen it like this. So I think that's why it's underrated. But once they experience it, they know this is a loud building. And Desiree, who left for Arizona, did an amazing job getting the students motivated to come inside the building 2 years ago. And even with last year's poor season, that continued. And I think she laid the foundation and deserves a lot of credit for that.
Right now, we're talking to Tom Hart. He is a Mizzou alum. He also works with SEC Network. Missouri had a big win yesterday at home against Alabama. Yesterday was the most, I would say, connected that I've seen Missouri play on offense and defense. And it's crazy to say defensively for a team that gave up 90 points, but it was just something that you had to watch the way that they played. I thought they played together on offense and defense. Guys rotated, guys rebound. They played with toughness. That's the thing to me that I think separates this Missouri team than maybe some past Missouri teams is a lot of Mizzou teams, to me, their only way to get stops was to force steals. This team can stop you at the rim. This team can guard you on the perimeter. This team can play defense multiple kind of ways.
That's exactly, it's funny you say that's exactly the conversation I had with Dennis Gates back in December, either it was before the Kansas or before the Illinois game. And at the time, I didn't realize how talented Missouri was. I knew what the collection was, and I knew what the history was for each of these guys. But I thought that their best defensive attitude was, hey, we're going to muck this up. We're going to send 12 guys out on the floor. We're going to foul you, and they can't blow the whistle on every foul, and we're going to force you into turnovers and make your pace chaotic. And he kind of looked at me and he said, we can do that at spurts, but I don't think we have to. And that's what we saw last night. Yeah, they turned Alabama over 14 times. Alabama's a team, as everybody knows, that lives by threes and rim twos. I thought the interior defense was really good. Especially at the rim. I mean, Bama's going to get points in the paint, but it's about trying to make them inefficient. And they're the number one tempo team in the country. And Missouri said, yeah, you want to run, you want to get up and down the floor, you want to give Caleb Grill a steal and a windmill dunk? Sure, we'll play that game. And I think to be able to play at the level of Alabama, whether that's home or what they did at Florida on the road, really sends a message to the entire college basketball world that this isn't last year's team. This is a team that can do a lot of damage because they play really well together, and he uses his bench and depth maybe better than any coach in the country.
I would say that part of sports is allowing yourself to dream a little bit. And sometimes as a Missouri fan, I think it's easy to get caught up in the negativity and, well, it hasn't worked in the past. And I've been kind of on the brink of doing this, but seeing the way that they started the game yesterday, seeing how they finished it out, this is the first time that I think I've allowed myself to fully jump into the pool. And usually you don't want to say the words Final Four because they've never been there before. But you got to really convince me why Missouri can't make a run. Sure, it is a single elimination basketball tournament. Anything can happen. But this team feels much more complete than teams that they've had, even good teams that they've had of. I don't really know what their overall weakness is. They're not elite at certain things, but this team doesn't really have an obvious weakness to me where you can point and say that's absolutely going to get them eliminated in March.
Did you go so far as to make a hotel reservation in San Antonio yet?
Not yet, but I will say, Tom, I am excited to see the region that they are in, and there are many teams in college basketball that I feel are better than Missouri. Sure, Auburn's better than Missouri. Like, we can find a couple of teams, but usually how it goes is you kind of have those 3 or 4 teams at the top that kind of separate themselves, and then you have that next tier of teams. I think Missouri is in that next tier of teams with a Tennessee, St. John's, some of those teams. They've proven that over the last 2-3 months to me.
Oh, you're 100% right. I mean, I agree with that observation. I think just starting within the league is a great jumping off point because college basketball has never seen a league this deep and this talented, which is crazy to think, but that's another conversation for another day. That's probably, podcast material as deep as you'd have to go to get into the whys of that. But I think Auburn is head and shoulders above everybody else in college basketball and within the league. They can play poorly and still win, as they did last night. They didn't have a great offensive game. They didn't have a great defensive game against Arkansas, but still held on for a win at home. And they're talented at every position, and they play really well as a team, as you just talked about with Missouri. And I think Florida can be that as well. They just added some depth with Micah Handlockton, a 7-footer, starting his season late due to injury. But remember, Missouri went down to Gainesville and absolutely walloped them. I mean, that was a jump start to the season to conference play where Missouri sent a very clear message that we can jump out and score 50 points in the first half against Florida. We can do that against anybody. I think Florida's really talented, and then I think Missouri is right there next in the next tier within the SEC. And offensively, they proved, because Alabama's not a bad defensive team. They didn't look like a good one at times last night. But when you can put those kind of points up against Alabama, especially in the first half, You can score on anybody, and I think it's fun to dream, and I think it's fair to dream, and I think for Missouri fans, it's realistic to start thinking about, hey, is it worth a trip to Nashville? Hey, do we look towards San Antonio? What region are we going to be in? Let me grab my kid. Let me grab my buddies. Let's make a weekend of it and go watch this team in the NCAA tournament. Because in addition to all that talent and all the winning, it's a really fun team. And I think that's captured the national writers' attention. I saw that feedback on X last night. Like, they've noticed that Dennis Gates has a team that's very tight-knit, and they have fun doing what they're doing.
Right now, we're talking to Tom Hart for a couple more minutes. He's a Mizzou alum, and he covers the SEC for SEC Network. I was thinking for a while that Missouri would probably be somewhere in that 5 to 7 range. After yesterday, I think their ceiling is probably a 3. Like, I would say realistically, the way that they are playing, I think this kind of moves them up the tier, where they're probably somewhere between a 3 seed or a 5 seed if they continue to play how they've been playing. I mean, they got chances for other good wins. They got Kentucky coming to Mizzou Arena in a couple of weeks. You could pick up a win or two in the SEC tournament. Like, this team isn't going to have a bad loss, and they just got opportunities to pick up a lot of big-time wins.
Yeah, Lenardi was all over that before the game last night. Of course, everybody at ESPN, like, we get he just fills my inbox like spam, man. I get nonstop. Because everything it updates in real time, right? Like, every result impacts what he's looking at when it comes to seeding. And he had Missouri, going into the game with the win as a 4 seed. That's really good. Like, that puts you in really good position. Everybody, if you're a fan of the tournament and you followed it, 5 seeds are not good. Like, you want to avoid that dreaded 5 seed spot. That happens every year. Somebody's going to get walloped there. And the other thing I'm looking at is what's next for them. Like, how do you improve on where you are? Ken Pom has Missouri winning out in the regular season. There's 5 games left. The toughest one, as you mentioned, I'll be in Columbia for that Kentucky game to close out the regular season. Kentucky's got a lot to play for. Arkansas has a lot to play for. Like, they're looking for a signature win to make it into the tournament. But then South Carolina, Vandy, and Oklahoma, let's not put the cart before the horse, but very, very winnable games to then position yourself. And then the other thing, I was just talking to a buddy today about, like, some of the teams in the bottom of the SEC and where they fit into the tournament. And even though there have been struggles with teams like Georgia and Oklahoma recently, you got to remember, like, it's not in a vacuum. You have to judge them against other bubble teams in the rest of college basketball. And the SEC is so far ahead. I keep looking at the ACC specifically, but so far ahead of the rest of college basketball that the wins that Missouri already has within this league and the wins they still have to come within this conference are going to be weighted very favorably given the overall strength of the league, top to bottom.
That is Tom Hart joining us on the show today. He does fantastic work for SEC Network. He is a Mizzou alum as the Missouri Tigers. They go from last season being one of the worst Power 5 teams to now they're one of the best stories in the sport as we are speeding closer to March. Tom, great stuff, man. I look forward to talking to you down the road and continuing to track this team's journey and seeing where they end up in March in the NCAA tournament. Thanks for popping on today.
All right, you didn't tackle I-70 last night, but you have a chance to do that Saturday for the Kentucky game. Maybe I'll see you down there.
Absolutely, Tom. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks, brother.
That is Tom Hart joining us on the show today. I just thought this as I was playing the Tom Hart interview for you guys. And maybe I'm wrong. Text line 913-586-7965. You guys know I love a good hypothetical button. And, Rob, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's the drive we talk about these things. If there were 2 buttons in front of me, I guess maybe 1 button, and the button says that Missouri will make the Final Four this season, but the cost of Missouri making the Final Four is that the Chiefs move to Kansas, I'd press the button. I'd press the button. I wonder how many Missouri fans in my position would also press the button. I'm a Missourian through and through. I've never lived anywhere else other than in the state of Missouri. If you telling me right now that you put a button in front of me, Rob, and I can press the button and I get to see Missouri make the Final Four, and the cost of that is that the Chiefs have to move across the street, so be it, man. I'll drive over there. It's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. I don't care. Take it. You can have the Royals too if you need to. Actually, you know what? Let's keep one of them. If you want the Chiefs over there, that's fine. You can have them. I've been over there. It's not that bad over there. It's great. You can stop at the Nike outlet over there. They got the little the LO outlet over there. Go get you a TV in Nebraska Furniture Mart. Go see the game, come home. It's not that bad over there. I don't mind it. I'd press the button. Are you surprised I'd press the button, Rob? You shocked?
I actually am very shocked by that because I don't speak for people who cheer for Missouri, and I don't speak for people who live in Missouri.
We definitely don't want you speaking for either one of us. You've never cheered for Missouri. You've never lived in Missouri. We don't want your opinion.
That's true. My thoughts here are not, one of expertise, but I'll tell you this. That is surprising because I think if I polled 100 Tiger fans in Kansas City, hey, you get a Final Four, but that means you leave. Let's just say the Chiefs. We're not going to say a team. You lose the Chiefs to Kansas, but it's legends. It's like right there, just a jaunt down I-70. I think 80% of fans would say, no. I can't lose the Chiefs. No. I think it's overwhelming the Chiefs staying in Missouri,
I'm pressing
people.
The button. I'm pressing the button. I'm going to ask Gabe to put this on his website. I'm going to text Gabe and ask him. This is the thing. You press the button.
Do you want hate mail from your own fan base?
I just want to see what people would say. They don't like me on there anyway. No college fan base likes me. I think I might actually be most popular with K-State fans, and I know they don't like me. Yeah, so what does it matter at this point? Let's just have fun. Let's just have vibes. Let's just have fun. It's great. It's fun. It's phenomenal. Have I asked you this question on the air? I can't remember. If I asked you this question, that's fine. KU makes it to the Elite Eight, but they lose and they don't make the Final Four. Or you can press the button right now and roll the dice with whatever KU does, but Missouri loses in the first round in a heartbreaking fashion. Which one are you taking?
So I get an Elite Eight, no matter what, locked in. But Missouri is also roll the dice.
Yeah.
Okay. Or I get roll the dice
with
and
KU,
Missouri's out.
And you can.
And it's this KU team based on their seeding.
Yes. So I'm saying is right now you have two options. You can take KU goes, you 100% can lock in KU goes to the Elite Eight, and then you'll see what happens. Maybe Missouri makes the Final Four, maybe they don't make the Final Four.
But it's guaranteed they lose the Elite Eight. It's like it's
your team will not.
Ceiling.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the ceiling. It's the best you can do. Or you can lock in.
I'll take the Elite Eight.
Okay.
There's a magic to March. It's just, even if I know, hey, eventually Auburn's going to get them, there's something about a run in the NCAA tournament that's just fun. That's just enjoyable. Making that third week, I would be way happier if Kansas made the Elite Eight, but I think a lot of fans would take the Missouri thing, but I'd take the Elite Eight.
I just wanted to know. I just wanted your opinion. A lot of Missouri fans are saying that they have pressed the button for the Final Four. There's nothing in sports I want more than Missouri winning the Final Four. If you had told me the Chiefs would get blown out the way that they did, I would have broken the button how hard I would have hit the button.
It's just Final Four and roll the dice, right?
Yeah. I would have broken the button how hard I would have hit it. It wasn't that bad sitting through it in hindsight if you had told me that's the reward on the other end. And watching them get smoked in the Super Bowl was not fun at all. It was miserable, actually. It was miserable to watch them get smoked. I would have smashed the button how hard I would have pressed it.
I think you're a man on an island with that take.
Okay, I can only speak for myself. That's all I can do. I can only speak for myself of how I feel.
I think if you asked that same question to Mizzou fans when the Chiefs had Alex Smith, I think it'd be a lot closer. But now Patrick Mahomes, Missourians do not want to lose the Chiefs to Kansas.
Okay.
Even though it'd be the exact same, driving down I-70 for a game,
how many Missouri
changes.
fans that are also Chiefs fans do you think would rather have the Final Four than the three-peat?
I think the three-peat would be an overwhelming favorite.
Okay. I'm just saying I think you could argue a lot of Chiefs fans would then say, we've already seen our team win the Super Bowl a couple of times. Them not winning the three-peat, no big deal. I've never seen Missouri do this thing before, and that's why I would press it.
No one's ever seen a three-peat, though, before.
No, that's fair. That's why I think it's a good question.
Yeah. If you were to say, if this question was flashback 12 months ago, and you ask the same question about a repeat versus Final Four, I think it's overwhelmingly Final Four. I think the history changes things.
You get to be with Anna Kendrick for a weekend, but the Royals move to San Antonio. You pressing the button? You gonna do it?
I'm happily married. Don't do that. My wife listens to the show.
I
Don't
was
do that
just
to
asking.
me. No, I'm happily
You see, I
married.
threw that one in there quick, too. I tried to get you to answer real quick. I saw the look on your face. I saw the look. You thought about it for a split second, and then you saw her arguing at you when you walked through the door. That's what happened.
I'm already going to have an argument when I get home. Hey, honey, let's watch some hockey.
What? Her phone was blowing up if you had answered that question, honestly. What? First, you won't let me go to the paint and sip. Now you're, okay, you know what? That was good. You were quick on your feet. I like that you were quick on your feet. Let me play this audio. Let's get back control of the show. Gabe DeArmond, let's just keep the Mizzou theme going. This is what Gabe DeArmond said about who could win the national championship.
Pretty easy argument to make that a 6 seed's actually better than a 4 or a 5. Because then, game 2, you're getting that 3 seed, and hey, you got to beat a good team no matter what. But then if you do get through to the Sweet 16, then it's a 2 seed rather than a 1. And I do think there's a pretty big difference. Like if you gave me Auburn and Duke and I gave you the field, I'd feel pretty good about my chances to have the national champ.
All right, you know what? You can actually now place this bet. This is a real bet that you can place. It's a real bet that you can place. So I did the percentages for those of you that don't gamble. They are giving you odds of 58% the field, 42% for Duke and Auburn. Now, I think that those are, I don't know if Duke's the second best team in college basketball, but they're certainly one of the top 5. They have the second best player, however you want to put it. Cooper Flagg's a dog. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Auburn is the best team. You can maybe argue Alabama, Duke. You guys get the point. I would take the field. And I think Auburn's clearly the best team in the country and will be, I don't care what happens the rest of the regular season, Auburn is the favorite to win the national championship. I don't think the talent is that big of a gap for me on Auburn or Duke that I would take those two teams over the field. Sure, they are the favorites to win it, but I think you run into it, especially now if you took this bet without seeing the bracket. I mean, Auburn and Duke could meet each other in the Final Four, so you would then be cutting your chances in half. Well, you only one of them even. It's not like both of them play, and then you're for sure to win your bet. So you're rolling the dice on that. I understand the point that Gabe was making, but I think you still have to take the field. If you're giving me the field and all the other possible options, so you're giving me Florida, you're giving me Houston, you're giving me whatever other team, you're giving me all of those teams, and I'll give you Duke and Auburn, I'd feel pretty confident with the field.
I think I'd take Duke Auburn. And a lot of that's based on Auburn. Auburn is saying they're really good is an insult to really good teams. The obvious best league this year is the SEC in basketball. The SEC is kind of a basketball conference now. Their football is down, but their basketball, great. Auburn is running through that conference. I mean, we're crediting Mizzou for beating Bama last night. It's a great win by Mizzou. Last weekend in Tuscaloosa, Auburn took care of Alabama, no problem. They've gone on the road and taken care of business in multiple hostile environments. Auburn is a class above everyone else. And I get what you're saying about, well, Duke and Auburn could match up in the Final Four. I think Duke and Auburn are destined to be on opposite sides of the bracket. I don't know it's as extreme as I believe it was 2021 when it was, hey, Gonzaga and Baylor. It's a crash course. Let's just fast forward to that. I don't know it's as obvious this year as that year, but it feels a lot like that. It feels like it would be a massive shock if we don't get Auburn and Duke in the Final Four. Now, maybe they're playing each other and it's a bad bet, but I think we know 2 of the 4 Final Four teams right now.
Yeah, do you think that Auburn, I guess, is better than UConn last year? Because UConn was one of those teams that it was like, hey, the rest of y'all playing for second place. Like, this team is just clearly better than everybody else. I think Auburn is very good. I don't know if I get the feeling that they are just head and shoulders by far and away. Once you see your bracket, it doesn't matter who else they put in there. You are automatically penciling Auburn. I don't feel that way about them, but it obviously sounds like you do.
I feel like Auburn is, what's Seth Davis to say? Sharpie? I feel like they're Sharpie to the Final Four. I know Cooper Flagg's the best pro in college basketball. The best college basketball player is on Auburn.
Yeah,
much like last year, how the best college basketball player was on UConn. Bruce Pearl's a great coach who has been to a Final Four before. They have a depth of talent, and what they are doing to a great conference night in, night out has me thinking that team is UConn feeling to me.
Bruce Pearl calls the AD at Kansas and says, I want to be the head coach, but you got to fire Bill Self. What do you say?
I don't think there's any world in which KU is firing Bill Self.
I just want to know what you would do.
I don't think you fire Bill Self. I think if Bill Self rides off from the sunset, Bruce Pearl gets a call.
Okay.
Hey, we can have those barbecues now, and you're not going to get in trouble from the NCAA.
We agree that this season, Kansas would be better if Bruce Pearl was their head coach.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just curious if you agree.
Yeah, I think if Bruce Pearl was the coach of Kansas would be better right now.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you had let Bruce Pearl get the transfer portal last year and bring in the talent, they'd be better off this year than they are right now. I just curious what you would think. If Bruce Pearl's like, hey, I want to come coach, what would you tell Bill to do? I'd have Bill be an assistant. He'd be working in the athletic department making phone calls for donations if Bruce Pearl wanted to come.
You would run Greg Gurley out so fast for Bill Self.
No, I ain't doing that for Greg. Greg, that was Rob. I didn't say nothing about you, Greg. You know you're my man. I didn't say nothing. You and Haney are good. Everybody else possibly, but you two, you're good money. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with cancer? You want the most knowledgeable physicians with the latest technology. That's KCPI, the Kansas City Proton Institute. KCPI has a full suite of the most advanced imaging and treatment technology necessary to localize high-intensity proton beams. That's a critical part of maximizing cure rates while minimizing recovery time and long-term side effects. Proton therapy provides patients with the most advanced form of radiation treatments for cancer. It destroys cancer cells with supreme accuracy, reducing the risk of harmful side effects. KCPI has Kansas City's first and only system that uses pencil beam technology, resulting in precision targeting and less radiation to your surrounding healthy tissue. Proton therapy is now available in the comfort of an office at KCPI, making it more efficient and affordable than a hospital. So contact KCPI for the most knowledgeable physicians with the latest technology. Don't wait. Get precision technology with the highest safety measures with KCPI. Online at kcpi.com.
Casey's has 8 new coffee roasts that have been described as having rich aromatics that entice any palate. But, we're not sure what that means, so we just call it darn good coffee. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. Now get a small hot coffee for 99 cents. See Casey's for details.
Hey, it's Karen with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Ready to replace that roof? We have flexible financing options, 12 months same as cash, and don't make a payment for 90 days. And that's just one of many options we offer. Get on the schedule now with our in-house Consumer Credit Center. One call does it all for flexible payment options, affordability, and peace of mind. Visit shamrockroofer.com. That's shamrockroofer.com or call 1-866-932-3545 today.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 21st through 23rd at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test and buy big brands and enjoy new women's and kids programs Saturday at the show. Front door bonuses and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
When the game tips off, the NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you miss the first few minutes of the game or you want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now's the perfect time to join. New FanDuel customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to join today. That's FanDuel.com/Alex for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets with expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Tackle your airport parking needs at Park & Go. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7 and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Traffic-wise, things are moving smoothly. Northbound 435, 7 minutes from Metropolitan to K5. Eastbound 70, 13 minutes from the Paseo to 470. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast, so hurry to Metro Ford. Online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 96.5 The Fan.
There's a lot of stories that I've been able to tell you guys on this show. It's actually one of my favorite things to do to, let you guys know what's going on in my personal life. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's funny, whatever it may be. I've done this job for a long time. A lot of you have been listening for a long time, and I want to tell you that I appreciate you. I don't think that I've ever been able to come on here and tell you that my plan tonight when I go home is to watch hockey. I don't know if I've ever been able to say that, honestly. Now, I don't say this because I know what's going on in the hockey. In fact, it is quite the opposite. I don't know at all what's going on in the hockey. I don't know who's playing in the hockey game. I don't know. I have genuinely no clue who is on the United States team. Rob told me, and I was looking at him like he was speaking another language. I was like, who are these people? I don't know who any of these people are. I only know a handful of things about tonight's hockey game. I'm not joking. This is not a bit. I only know a handful of things about the game. This is what I know. I know that they played on Saturday. The United States played Canada in a hockey game. I know that. And I know that while the national anthem was going, the Canadian people booed the national anthem, the American national anthem. And the American folks, they didn't like this that much, so they started a fight. And it wasn't just one fight, it was multiple fights. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. I have no clue what I'm getting myself into. The only thing I know in hockey is icing. That's where, like, you can't pass it past, like, double lines. And I know a very, very rough outline of what icing is. This is not me to tell you that hockey is bad. I don't really know much about it. I grew up in Kansas City. I've never been to an NHL game before. Never had a favorite team. Never had a favorite player. Just never really been part of my life. But if you tell me that there is a possibility of fisticuffs, I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm not a big UFC guy. You guys know that. Not a big UFC guy. But the times I do watch it, it usually has been, oh, this guy really doesn't like this other guy. Oh, well, I'll give it a chance. You're telling me they got beef. You're telling me that he's got a kid with her and they got, you know what? You don't got to explain it anymore to me. I'm happy to watch it. That's all I know about this game. And that's all I really need to know is they booed our national anthem. The players weren't very happy about it. And now I'm going to be watching the national anthem just because I want to see what's going to happen when they play that O Canada. You know they're playing the O Canada. And if Boston is the sports city that I know it is, you have to boo the national anthem, right? This is like an eye for an eye kind of thing, right? A tooth for a tooth. They booed your national anthem. You now have to boo their national anthem. I was looking at the prices for this thing. Rob, the average price to get in for this thing, it's $1,100. If you want to sit lower level, it's $2,000. This is for an exhibition. Now, it's an important exhibition, but it's still an exhibition. For $2,000, yes, I'm booing. I might boo a national anthem for a country that's not even playing in this thing. I might just start walking through the concourse playing different countries' national anthems and booing them. I'm getting my money's worth. Are they fighting tonight? Because that's why I'm tuned in. I'm tuned in for the fisticuffs. I placed a very small wager on the United States. I don't know if they're going to win. I don't know if they're the favorite. I don't know any of it. I just put a bet on them because I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Now, I know more players on the Canadian team than I know on the American team. Sidney Crosby, he's playing in this thing. Was it Connor McDavid? He's playing? I've heard of him before. He's got to be pretty good, right? He's playing in this game. He has to be pretty good.
I mean, most players playing this game are pretty good.
I'm just asking, you got to be pretty good. I mean, I don't know how good you can be. I can't name anybody on the American team. Can't name any of them. Who's somebody on the American team I would know? They got Patrick Kane on the team.
Do you know Jack Eichel?
No.
Then I think we're out of.
You could have made up a name right there. Who is that?
Is that name
I've
Spectrum
never
earlier
heard of
today?
him before.
I believe you know, for as often as you go to Vegas, you probably bumped into him.
No, I've never heard of this guy before.
By the way, to answer your question, I do not think they fight tonight. I think there are no fights.
What?
If you want my gut,
Canada's weak. Then you're telling me you're going to sit there.
I'm just telling you what's happening.
You're telling me that the Americans are going to boo your national anthem. You saw what happened on the other side, and now you're not going to fisticuffs?
I think they're going to try to come out there and win on the scoreboard. I think that's what's coming. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Canadians are more upset about the booing than I think. I think they're going to come out there and they're going to try to. They're going to use. They might celebrate after longer than you anticipate, but I don't think we see a fight tonight.
Okay, well,
I don't think you see people drop gloves between Canada and USA.
That's what I'm tuning in for. I'm gonna at least give the first period a chance.
If they don't fight, you're gonna let's say.
I don't know. Let's see how the game's going. I don't know.
Let's say it's 1-1. Good fun, fast-paced, back and forth hockey.
How long is hockey? Is it long?
It's like 2 hours and 2.5 hours of watch time.
Is it longer or shorter than soccer?
Longer. It's more comparative watch time wise to a college basketball game.
Yeah. The text line's trying to explain why they booed. I mean, I watch the news too. I don't really care as much about the why. They did it. They did it. And the Americans decided that it's time to fight. That's what happened. That's all I care about. I know why the Canadian people were like, I'm not really trying to hear this song right now. The American people said, you're going to listen. You're going to listen or I'm going to knock your teeth out. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Hey, I kind of want to see. Someone on the text line says you don't have to boo. You can be the bigger person and remain silent, but I don't expect our fans to be the bigger person. My brother, they put this in Boston. You might get the bigger person in Kansas City. You might get the bigger person if this game was in Miami. You ain't getting the bigger person in Boston. They booing that song tonight. The moment they start saying, "Oh, Canada," boo, they might start throwing things on the ice later today when that song plays. They're definitely getting a USA chant going while that's going on. You know what? If you're Canada, you can't have somebody go out there singing. You just got to play. You got to play the Kids Bop version of the national anthem. You got to just play a tape. You can't have somebody go out there and you're about to run the risk that they could get booed.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. You can't have, who's the guy that did the AFC title game in Kansas City? The
Marine or the serviceman.
Yeah, he does a very good job. I apologize for forgetting his name. If he went out there and did "Oh Canada" first and got booed, that's no, you can't have that.
Hold on, somebody on the text line just said it's 3 periods, 20-minute each, and then they have a 17-minute intermission between each period. What are they doing during the intermission?
They clean the ice.
It's dirty?
The Zamboni. That's what the Zamboni does.
What do they?
It's got like grooves from people's skates.
They got to take 2 breaks to do this?
Yeah. But there's not a lot of TV timeouts. There's like a TV timeout or 2 every period.
I've seen the Zamboni. I didn't know they had to do it. They got to do it 2 separate times.
They need fresh ice.
Okay, I didn't know.
I
don't know anything about hockey.
This isn't going to Legends Field during Christmas time for that pop-up and you just watch. No, there's Zamboni a lot for these guys.
I haven't been around ice skating in a very long time. Everything I know about hockey came from Blades of Steel on the NES. I don't know anything else about hockey. I haven't played a hockey video game since Blades of Steel. I don't know anything about it. Text line, you guys know the game I'm talking about back on the NES. Blades of Steel was a great game. It was a phenomenal game. Doesn't get nearly enough credit. Speaking of underrated, I have more hockey thoughts. I never thought I had so many hockey thoughts. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, where's Tyrone?
Who?
Tyrone, that guy who used to come in here and inspect our fire systems.
I don't know.
I'm over here at Keller Fire and Safety now.
Why?
This is what I like about Keller. The customer focus, the compliance focus, and the work that we do keeps your people and your property safe.
If you're missing Tyrone's great service, call Keller.
Keeping the fire marshal happy
Since 1950.
Keller Fire and Safety.
KellerFire.com.
Basketball fans, don't miss the MIAA Basketball Championships March 5th through 9th at Municipal Auditorium. 18 games over 5 days, the nation's best small college basketball tournament will feature some of the nation's best Division II teams. Get your tickets now through Ticketmaster and visit odyssey.com/965thefan/events February 20th through 24th to register to win free tickets. MIAA Madness, March 5th through 9th. Bring your A game.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. My team knows injury law. We can help you understand all of your legal rights so that you don't get cheated.
DM Law knew what to do and got me $350,000.
Mike's got this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500.
Mike's got this.
Has your home been on the market without success? An expired listing can feel frustrating, but it doesn't have to be the end of your journey. The Sharp Homes team specializes in turning things around. Contact my friend Dawn Sharp if you're looking to buy or sell a home. Dawn and her team are brokered by Epic Realty, and they've sold over 150 homes in the last 12 months alone. Plus, they can give you options. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, you can do that with their instant offer program. Google them at Sharp Homes Team or visit them at homesforsaleinkc.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This job is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. There's a 2-car crash that hasn't cleared that on the east side, northbound 435, just past 87th Street, but we are still seeing traffic backups behind it. And another 2-car crash northbound 35 at the on-ramp from Armour Road. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast, so hurry to Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Kane is in the building.
Welcome to your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
All right, I have a quick hockey thought, and then I have a Royals thought. Let's just do it that way. My hockey thought isn't even related to today's game. It's just a general thought. I don't think we give Disney nearly enough credit for the run that they went on with sports movies. Miracle is an amazing movie. Amazing. Disney had a run there for about 4 or 5 years. They were pumping out sports movies. They're pretty good. Glory Road is a good movie. Miracle is a really good movie. You guys know I love the movie Invincible. Remember the Titans. Disney, when they decide to do a sports movie, they usually don't miss, man. Miracle is good. I love that movie. Whenever they got smoked by Sweden or one of those countries, I don't know who it is, but they're getting smoked. And then after the game, the coach makes them do suicides. And he's like, who do you play for? He's like, Peter O'Callahan, Boston College. Again, and he's making them key. And I'm like, how long are they going to do this? And then they eventually say, USA gets me fired. I'm like, yeah, let's go beat the Russians. Miracle's great. Kurt Russell, he was born to play that role of Herb Brooks in Miracle. I might not even watch the game tonight. I might just watch Miracle, and I'll just catch the highlights on TikTok later. We got to start giving Miracle its credit of being a top-tier, elite sports movie that it is. It's not on the Rocky tier because not many movies are. But, man, that second tier of sports movies, it's as good as any sports movie that you're thinking about. Any Given Sunday, Remember the Titans, Miracle, it's one of those kind of movies. Phenomenal film. 2 thumbs up, A+, 10 out of 10, would recommend. I highly encourage you to check it out. This is my Royals question that I have, Rob, and then we'll get to Travis Kelce at the top of the hour. So the Royals released their kind of television plan for the year. So there are 3 ways that you can watch the team. If you have cable or satellite, so basically how it was last year, Spectrum, Xfinity, DirecTV, Fubo, Uverse, if you have that and you already have cable, you don't got to worry about it. Whatever channel you were watching the Royals last year, you can do it right then and there. It's great. They have a streaming option now, the FanDuel Sports app, FanDuel Sports Network. You can get it on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire Stick, Apple, Roku, Xbox. You can stream it right then and there. Pay every month. It's like a normal service. Same way you pay for Netflix. Same way you pay for HBO Max. You can pay for this. You get all your Royals games. Great. They're going to show 10 games on regular TV. Just regular TV. Channel 10. Channel 5. It's going to be great. And they're also doing a deal. If you are a season ticket holder, they're going to give you 2 months for free. Now, the Royals are trying. This is not ideal, but there's only 2 more years left in this CBA. So in 2 years, we could be back in this same place, and the Royals television and all these other teams in baseball, their situation is fixed. Are people mad, Rob, at the price that they now have to pay for it? Are people mad that it's now for some people? Like, if you're me, I don't have cable. I don't plan on going back to cable at this point. So I am going to sign up for the FanDuel Sports app. I think the Royals are going to be good this year. I don't mind spending the $19 a month. It evens out to you end up paying what, like 75 cents a game, 80 cents a game every month? It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, I'm not thrilled about it. Is it price? Is it the fact that they are now making us pay for something that used to be free? Like, what do you think is people's biggest holdup? Because you and I both know. In 2 months, whenever we transition and we are talking about the Royals, the argument is going to be, I can't watch the Royals. Well, yes, you can. If you have internet access and a smart TV, you can watch the Royals. It's on all of it. Apple TV, Fire Stick, everybody has one of those versions, or you have cable. Everybody listening has one of those versions. So, yeah, you can watch them. It's just not free anymore. They're now making you pay. They put it behind a paywall. What's people's biggest holdup is now that it costs, because $20 a month to watch, basically paying 80 cents a baseball game is not that ridiculous of a number they're asking you to pay.
I think people's main frustration, which I think is silly, by the way, is that they are angry at the change in sports landscape, and locally, the first team of the Big Two, no offense, Sporting Kansas City, to join the revolution or be part of the revolution with putting more games behind streaming is the Royals. I think fans are mad about the future, and they don't like the future, which is not the Royals' fault. It's not baseball's fault. It's no one's fault. You don't have to like the way the future looks. But the future in sports is streaming. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. Netflix is trying to buy some of the Sunday games. So it wouldn't be CBS and Fox. It'd be CBS and Netflix, or Fox and Netflix. The NFL is already in bed with Netflix. It wouldn't shock me if that becomes a bigger deal. Prime is going to become a bigger deal. They had a playoff game this year. Sports on streaming services that are costly to watch are the absolute future, and it stinks. And I think locally, the Royals are part of that first wave. And as always, the first wave is the wave we hate. That's what I think fans are mad about.
Yeah, I mean, this part to me, I think is a fair criticism. This is kind of annoying to me that I have to pay for another subscription service to only watch one team. This is where I think the NFL, and I think it's unfair to the other leagues that we understand the uniqueness of the NFL, and now we are mad that basketball and football doesn't have the exact same television deal. Well, football doesn't take up nearly the inventory that baseball does. If you're Channel 5, you can't give baseball the same access to your airwaves the way that you give football. So I'm not here defending the baseball model. I'm with you that it's messed up. Someone is saying people are mad that they have to pay for the local team. How do you watch Kansas then? Kansas is local, right? It's right down the street. Kansas doesn't come on regular CBS every single night, right? They aren't preempting the Masked Singer for you to watch. How do you watch Kansas? How do you watch K-State?
Last night, Missouri was on a cable channel. You have to have
SEC network.
You have to have a premium cable subscription to watch the local team.
So I hear what you're saying is the only local team that you get the opportunity to watch for free is the Chiefs. Every other one we were talking about, you have to pay. It's behind a paywall. If you want to follow Missouri season, yeah, they'll play on CBS in the tournament. They might not even be on CBS. They might be on True TV or whatever other networks. I don't know all the networks they got. TBS, how do you watch all of these other things? Again, I'm on your side. I don't like the fact that they make us pay for all of these other things too, but I would say, if anything, I think people, at least I thought, people were mad about access. It's not about access anymore. You're not mad at how much it costs. And I get that part. Hey, this thing costs more than I want to pay for. But that's also life, right? That's life. We all would eat at Eddie V's every day, but it's a price attached to it. So you know what? I drive past Eddie V's and I go to Chipotle. It's the price I'm willing to pay to eat. Right? We all are in that situation. Well, I mean, I want something to drink, but I'm not paying for that. Hey, just give me the Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's fine. I'll take Old English, some Milwaukee's Best, if you got it. That's commerce. I'm not on the royal side here. I don't want you guys to hear this, that I'm on the streaming side. I hate that this is the case. But them charging you 75 cents a baseball game to watch on television, I mean, that ain't the worst thing in the world. It could definitely be worse right there on your smart TV, and it can come and go as you want. If you want to wait until the second half of the season to see if they're good, then sign up for the second half of the season. If you want to lock in for the first month of the season and see if they're good or not, yay, pay the $20. I mean, $20, I mean, that's 2 times you go to get coffee. That's you and your girl a lunch. It's $20. Give them the 20. I mean, it's clearly a premium product. You don't get to watch Game of Thrones for free. You don't get to watch most of the television shows you watch. You pay to watch Squid Game. What makes the Royals? Now I understand the access. You get more. I get all that. But I hate to sound like I'm pushing for the streamers, but I mean, $20 a month. If you really, really like your baseball team, if you tell me, hey, they got a Mizzou network, that's the only way I can watch, I'm paying the $20. I don't know what to tell you. I don't got no other choice. You think they're beating Alabama and I'm not going to be watching it? Here, take my 75 cents for this game. I can't wait to give it to you. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This drive is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. There's a 2-car crash that has cleared that on the east side, northbound 435, just past 87th Street, but we are still seeing traffic backups behind it. And another 2-car crash northbound 35 at the on-ramp from Armour Road. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast, so hurry to Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Hey, KC, when I discovered my new passion, I dove into social media, got on some shows, and soon almost Andy Reid was born. But this winter, there's something new you might discover that's not as great. Issues with your garage door. Don't get stuck in the cold. Get your annual maintenance check for just $100 or a free replacement quote from my friends at Renner Garage Door. They carry top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, trusted locally since 1956.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R. We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Robsite Ford. Non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com. 2025 is the year Robsite Ford makes history. With non-commissioned sales staff, the lowest prices on brand new Fords, best trade-in values, and the biggest selection, we've got it all. Visit Robsite Ford, the top-rated Ford dealership on Google. robsite.com.
This is the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for K-State athletics. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. I want to spend a little bit more time talking about this, and then we'll get to the top stories. This is also a top story, just maybe not the number one story. So the Royals have announced that there are more ways than ever before to watch their baseball product. Now, if you have cable, Spectrum, Xfinity, DirecTV, Fubo, you can still watch them. You don't have to pay anything extra. You don't have to pay anything extra. That's what you want to do. You can now stream them. They have a new service. It's called the FanDuel Sports Network. They have an app that you can sign up for right there on your phone. You're at work. You work at night. You want to watch the Royals right there on your phone. Boom, pay. You can watch it right there on your phone, on the go. You can also buy it on your smart TV. So I am an Amazon Fire Stick home. Every television I have in my house is a Fire Stick smart TV. I like the interface. I like it. It's easy to navigate. I like them. So right there, boom, you can just pay for it right then and there. That's the same way that I do Red Zone, the same way that I do NBA League Pass. It's an app. I click on it. It's right there on the television. I actually like it. You can sign up for that. If you have Amazon Prime, you can sign up for that if you like to. So you don't need Amazon Prime, but if you already have Amazon Prime, you can, in addition, sign up for this, pay a little extra every month. They're also going to put a handful of games over the air. They're also going to give you a little bit of a package if you have a season ticket. Some people on the text line were saying, why can't it be like football? Well, the difference with football than every other league that you watch is football got everybody's television rights and sold them to CBS, Fox, NBC, and ABC. Now they've started to expand it, and that's when they've started the paywall. They also have sold every team's television rights to Amazon. That's how you have Thursday Night Football. They've also sold individual game rights to Netflix. That's how Netflix got the Christmas Day games. So the big difference between baseball and the NFL is the Yankees have not signed up with everybody else to sell their television rights. No, we own our television rights. So I'm with you. The system is a little bit messed up. And I would love a day in which every team in Major League Baseball signed up together to all do what Major League Soccer has done. Major League Soccer got everybody's television rights and sold it to one place. They sold it to Apple. Rob, you have this, right? You get it if you're a season ticket holder. They offered it to me, but I'm never going to watch that. I'll give it to one of you guys if you want it. I'm not going to use that thing. There will never be a time that I sign up to Apple TV to watch soccer. No, thank you. Not interested. That's the why. I'm with you guys that baseball's television contracts are a little bit messed up. It is. It's a little bit messed up. I do think that this is a pretty either get cable, which a lot of people have. I have the choice to go get cable. I have Spectrum Internet. I'm sure they will sell me the cable. And now I don't got to pay for this streaming service. It's right there on the television. Or if I don't want to do that, I now have the option to stream it in more ways than I've ever had to stream it before. And I would say a pretty decent price. There are certainly pros and cons to that. And if your argument is it's $20 for Netflix and I get all of these shows, all of these movies, I get live wrestling, I get all of these things, and you're telling me it's $20 to just watch Royals games, I don't think that's a great value. That's fair. I'm not here to argue and tell you that's not fair. If you're telling me you get The Sopranos, Wire, Entourage, you get all these things for $17 and you got to pay all this money to watch the Royals play the Tigers, I'm on your side. Maybe that's not a good deal. But you can't say they didn't offer it to you. Access will not be the issue for the Royals in 2025. It might be price for you, or it's not convenient, or whatever it is, but it will not be access. For the first time, I don't think that's a fair argument to make about watching the Royals. They've given you a chance to watch them. You just don't want to watch them, which is, again, fine. It's your money. It's you're a consumer. If you think that this is poorly priced, then speak with your wallet. I'm not paying for that. Okay, great. Some people will pay for it. Some people won't pay for it. I made the decision this year. I'm paying for it. I'm tired of pulling up the streams, Rob. If I'm tired of, no, it's too much. I don't want to do that anymore, especially now if they're going to be good. If they're going to be good this year, I'll just pay for it. I'm not doing all the back and forth. I don't have the interest in doing that this year. I'll just go ahead and pay for it. All right, we're going to play Joel Corey here coming up in a bit because I do want you guys to hear what Joel Corey had to say. He knows the NFL salary cap as well as anybody in media. He is a former agent. He does great work with CBS Sports. We talked to him, asked all our questions about the Chiefs. He will explain the salary cap in a way that not a single guest that we have can explain it. But before we do that, Diana Rossini was on the Rich Eisen show earlier today. Here she is talking about Travis Kelce. She's hearing that he is thinking of coming back.
You know, I can tell you from just having a few conversations with people around the league over the last few days, there's definitely a sense that Travis is going to try to play more. I haven't heard anyone say, yeah, he's really struggling with what he wants to do. It's definitely leaning more towards that. That can, of course, change. This is going to be his decision only. But for this Chiefs operation looking to move forward here, I think they feel pretty good that Travis has got a little bit more left in him.
I think that Travis is coming back to play for the Chiefs. I think that we are going to hear coming up in the next, I would say, 10 to 14 days, we will get a tweet from Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter that Travis Kelce has decided that he is coming back for next season. I think it makes a lot of sense for the Chiefs. I think it makes a lot of sense for Travis Kelce. I think that is what both sides ultimately will want. I think Travis is more than allowed to take his time, make a decision. The season, we're not even 2 weekends into the NFL offseason. Take your time. He's taking a little break from the podcast. He'll come back to the podcast, and I imagine on the podcast, he will tell you either why he's leaving or why he's staying. That's why Amazon gave you all that money for the podcast. It's for breaking news like this. That's big news. What are you going to do? A lot of people want to know what the plan is for Travis Kelce. I believe that Travis Kelce is going to play. Before we play the Joel Corey, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this. I'm not going to be afraid anymore of disappointment. I'm not. I'm going to allow myself to get my heart broken by a sports team. It's been a while since I've been in that position where I got really excited about a team and they really, really let me down. But that's what being a fan is. That's what loving a team is. That's what supporting them is. I have been a little bit hesitant to fully commit to this Missouri Tigers team. I didn't even want to say the words Final Four until yesterday. I didn't want to allow my brain to think that that was a possibility for the Missouri Tigers. But I've thought this for some time, and Rob and I have talked about this off the air. We talked about it on the air. And after watching the way that they dominated a team yesterday from start to finish, they never trailed in the game yesterday to a team that people believe is a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Never at any point did they trail. I allowed myself to dream a little bit. I've allowed myself to accept the fact that I cheer for one of the best teams in college basketball, that simply making the NCAA tournament this year is not just the goal. It's a great goal to have, but I want more than that. I believe that Missouri can make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. I believe that they are one of the best teams in this NCAA tournament. I think they're dangerous. I think everything that you tell me teams need in college basketball, I believe Missouri has it. I think they have experienced guard play. I think they have good guard play. I think they have a guy that late in the shot clock can go get you a bucket if you need one. I think they rebound very well. I think they play defense very well. I think they are well coached. I think they're deep. I think they shoot it well. All of the qualities that you need a basketball team to have, I think Missouri has them. And I'm tired of being afraid. So yes, the text line, you guys might laugh at me for being a fan, and that's fine. Maybe this season will end up in ruin and heartbreak and misery, and I will get myself all worked up and all excited, and then Missouri will disappoint me in March. But you know what? That's being a fan. You guys know what that's like to be really excited about something and then have your hearts ripped out. You guys don't want that from me. I can't have those same emotions and those same feelings. You also know what it's like when your team finally breaks through and your team finally wins and overcomes the odds. You don't want that from me. Everybody else gets to see their team win. You're a Chiefs fan. You've seen your team win. You're a KU fan. You've seen your team win before. KU, K-State. You guys got pummeled in the Big 12 by KU for 15 years. You broke the streak. You guys got happiness. You can't root for my happiness. I'm here to tell you that I'm not going to be afraid anymore, that I'm going to dream, that I'm telling you right now, your college basketball team cannot beat my favorite college basketball team. And I don't care who you are listening right now. I'm telling you that that's a fact. Unless you cheer for Auburn, and then your team can beat my team. Other than that, no. The majority of you don't cheer for Auburn. You cheer for that other team, and you know what happened when you guys played Missouri. Missouri would beat your team in Allen Fieldhouse. They would beat you at Mizzou Arena. They would beat you at T-Mobile Center. They'd beat you at Swope Park if you guys decided to play them. Missouri's better than your team this year. That's okay. You got to accept that this season. And K-State fan, I'm not even listening to you. You guys won't make the NCAA tournament. Don't talk to me about your basketball team. That's how I'm carrying it the rest of the way. And if you're a Missouri fan, I want you along for this ride with me, because Missouri, they're going to the Final Four this season. This is it, Rob. I can feel it. It's our year. That's all I can say. It's our year. I'm confident. I'm hopeful. I'm encouraged. I believe this is the year. Missouri's doing it. They're breaking the curse. They're going to the Final Four. We had Joe Corey on the show earlier today. We asked him what happens with Travis Kelce if he decides to retire.
Well, the decision has to come maybe sooner than what he wanted his timetable to be, because the third day of the league year is March 14th. And he has an $11.5 million roster bonus due. Now, what they could do, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this Green Bay quarterback who used to him and Ha play this retirement dance every year. And there was one year the Packers and Brett Favre pushed it back the date of his roster bonus like 4 times in 1 year. So that could be done. Given that Kelce has $17.25 million in cash this year, has a $19.8 million cap hit, you'd save all the cash, none of it's guaranteed, if he decides to retire. You'd be left with $2.55 million in dead money, but you would need to find a number one tight end unless they were confident that Noah Gray could assume that role. He signed a 3-year extension for base value of $6 million per year, $18 million over 3 years, right before the regular season started.
So I'm looking at Travis Kelce's cap number for next year. It's at $19.8 million. Do you think the Chiefs are going to carry Kelce with that high of a cap hit? Or is there something that you can do for this upcoming season that obviously rewards him for the kind of player that he's been in his career? You pay him a certain amount of money and you get that cap number down to create some flexibility to add to the rest of your roster.
Well, since he's a year-to-year proposition, this is the last year of his deal. I'm not touching it. I'm not adding voiding dummy years. So I've got dead money next year. I'd rather keep him, leave it alone, have him play for the $17.25 million, and then he's off the books next year. If he wants to come back, then you got to negotiate a new deal for whatever that may be, given he is a declining player now. Granted, his down years are better than most tight ends' good years, but given he's a little long in the tooth, then I don't want to have residual cap charges in the future with him.
So let's go through the Chiefs' decision. At least it's being reported that they're not going to use the franchise tag. Is that what you expected? Are you surprised by that? They've got a couple of free agents. We'll specifically go through their free agents and get your opinion on Nick Bolton and Trey Smith. But are you surprised that the Chiefs are deciding to not use the franchise tag?
No, not really, because the way the offensive line tag number works, it's not position specific. There's not a guard, center, and a tackle one. It's lumped together, which means it's basically a number based on left tackles. And you rarely see interior offensive linemen get the franchise tag. You did see that the Commanders in 20 and 2021 did use it 2 years in a row on Brandon Scherf. Before that, you had to go back to who was it? Logan Mankins in 2011 was one of the last guys to receive it. Joe Thuney in 2020 got it from the Patriots. But you really don't see offensive linemen getting franchise tags, particularly when that number doesn't really relate to the guard market. Because depending upon where the cap is ultimately set, the range for this number is going to be $23.259 million to $23.594 million. The highest paid guard for now is Landon Dickerson. He's got a deal which is 4 years, $84 million, averages $21 million per year. The max value of the deal is $87 million per year, $87 million total. I expect Trey Smith to become the highest paid guard in the league, whether it's with Kansas City or somebody else in free agency.
If you had to guess, do you think that contract comes from Kansas City or comes from someone else? They did pony up last year, and they spent big-time money on Chris Jones. But you know how this works. You can't pay everybody. Trey Smith is an interior offensive lineman. He's going to be the highest paid at his position. Do you think he's back in Kansas City next year?
Probably not. You guys had to make a choice on which guy from his draft class to sign. You paid Creed Humphrey, which you had to do. He's the best center in football. He's the highest paid center at $18 million per year. He reset the market. Now, the problem on your line is the mistake deal you made with Juwan Taylor. And that's the gift that keeps on giving because 2025 is fully guaranteed. Signing him, making him, and putting him in $20 million per year offensive lineman club when it didn't have a whole lot of members when you signed him, that's turned out to be a bad deal. If I'm Trey Smith's agent, I'm looking at the fact that you brought in an outsider to play left guard when you signed him. Joe Thuney made him the highest paid guard at $16 million per year in 2021. So you're definitely going to have to make me the highest paid guard to stay here, but I suspect it's probably going to be someplace else.
Let's move down the line. Let's talk about Nick Bolton. I never thought he was a option to be franchise tagged, but could you see him back in Kansas City? He's a really difficult one, at least for me, to kind of wrap my arms around because his market either you pay big time money for a guy or those guys just kind of get 1 year, $8 million kind of deals. I'm not really sure how the league feels about Nick Bolton and what that contract looks like.
Yeah, off-ball linebackers don't get franchised. The last time that happened was David Harris in 2011. if there's going to be an off-ball linebacker that would get that consideration, and the price tag is way too high, it would be Zach Bond, because that number is going to be over $25 million. It's going to be between $25.3 and $25.6. The highest paid off-ball linebacker is Roquan Smith at $20 million per year. That market has not moved very much. Bobby Wagner in 2018, the future first ballot Hall of Famer, $18 million per year, basically 6 years ago. It's gone up $2 million since then. I don't see it going up with anybody this year. You've had some guys get in the $10, $11, $12 million per year range in free agency. I'd imagine Bolton has taken note of Patrick Queen last year. That was the highest paid off-ball linebacker, $41 million over 3 years ago to the Steelers. That's basically $13.7 a year. The most recent data point is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah signing a 3-year extension with the Browns, $37.5 million over 3 years. Max is at $39 million, which had $20 million fully guaranteed at signing, $25 million overall guarantees. The thing with Kansas City is you got Drew Tranquill as one guy. You've got Leo Chenal waiting in the wings, so he could come in and become a full-time player if Bolton prices himself out of Kansas City. But it very well could be these guys are tricky. Sometimes they don't get paid, and if he's looking at the market falling out, the bottom falling out, maybe he comes back to Kansas City because he knows he can be successful here on a one-year prove-it deal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think could happen with Nick Bolton. Exactly what you just said there at the end, that, you know, you try free agency. The market isn't what you thought it was going to be, but you can come back to Kansas City on a one-year deal, a decent base salary with some incentives that you get a pretty sizable raise from you being a second-round pick, but also you don't really break the bank, so to speak, and you stay in a defense that obviously you know very well and a system and scheme that you've had a lot of success in. I kind of think that's the best-case scenario. I mean, putting the two players out there, it's far more likely that Bolton is back on next year's team than Trey Smith would be on next year's team.
Oh, yeah, because if Trey Smith has at least two teams besides the Chiefs looking to re-sign him, you can kiss that goodbye because the agent's going to play those other two teams against each other. He'll keep Kansas City in the loop knowing that it's going to be too rich for their blood. But the interesting thing with Kansas City and offensive line, we'll get back to that for a second. Joe Thuney will be 33 in November, and 2025 is his contract year. He still worked the $16 million he's supposed to make at left guard. I think you don't want to move him back out to tackle for full time. We saw that the Super Bowl didn't go all that well, and you basically weakened two positions. So that whole side of the line was a weakness for the Super Bowl. But you got a 33-year-old guy. If you extend him, you're starting to get to those years where he's going to be declining. So that's a dicey proposition as well, although he's playing well.
Right now, we're talking to Joel Corey, former sports agent. There is not too many people that understand the salary cap better than our guest, Joel Corey. Happy to have him join us on the show today. Let's get to a couple extensions for the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Thuney is a prime candidate for this in the final year of his deal. I also would be very intrigued in trying to extend Trent McDuffie as well. He is now out of his third season. You can start to negotiate with him. He's one of the best young corners in the National Football League. That price only gets bigger. You can go ahead and reward him. Also start to kind of manipulate the cap to figure out how you want to build the rest of your roster. Those are two guys that seem prime for an extension in my mind.
As I said, I don't know if I want to do an extension for 33-year-old Thuney unless he's going to start taking less money than on the deal that got him to Kansas City, and I don't know if he'd be willing to do that given the guard market has significantly escalated since he was made the highest paid guard 4 years ago. Typically, when you have a Pro Bowl caliber player on a rookie contract, you try to extend them at the earliest possible instance. That'd be McDuffie's case. You did that with Eric Fisher years ago, the former first overall pick in the draft. The quarterback market grew a little bit last year, but good corners are harder to find than wide receivers, but wide receivers make a whole lot more money than corners, so there still needs to be a market correction. If I'm McDuffie, I can exercise a little bit of patience. I want to see if Sauce Gardner had a down year gets a deal done, and I want to see if Stingley from the Texans gets a deal done, they'll go past the reigning defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain II's $24 million per year. I want to let them move the needle, and then I want to come in and have those deals in the marketplace and capitalize on that if I'm Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, I'm with you at left tackle. The Chiefs usually take a big swing. Ronnie Stanley is out there. Dan Moore Jr., who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's an option. But if they're going to go that veteran route, Tyron Smith makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if you're talking that cheap guy, incentive-laden contract, because that's what he did that last year in Dallas, took a pay cut, had a ton of incentives in there. This year, I think the base value was like 6, could have made up to 20, didn't make any of the incentives. Because he didn't get through the season. So you'd have to have a plan B with him, knowing that he may not get through the whole season. That's why you may not want to go that route. Ronnie Stanley finally played every game in a season for the first time in his career. He's not quite what he was when he signed his big deal, which made him the second highest paid tackle in 2020. But he's still pretty damn good and still young enough to get paid. Tyler Decker signed for over $20 million per year, who's, I think, when Stanley's healthy, isn't quite him. So you're north of $20 million per year with Ronnie Stanley. So I don't think that really would work for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you here to wrap this thing up is, do you think they could even take on a contract like that? When you think of the things that they have to pay for coming up, when you think of the free agents that they have in this class, you mentioned at right tackle and paying Jawan Taylor and how you think that contract has been a mistake. Do you think they can have Jawan Taylor? They've already paid Creed Humphrey.
Ain't no think to that. He's a penalty waiting to happen.
That was Joel Corey. If you missed any part of that, be sure to check out the best of our conversation with him. There is not a single person in the media that has a better understanding of the salary cap than Joel Corey. Coming up on the other side, we will talk about what will be the most watched sporting event tonight in the country. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down. 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Hey, Missouri sports fans, I've got good news. Underdog is available to play in your state. This basketball season, team up with your favorite stars and have a chance to win money from watching sports over at Underdog. From fast breaks to buzzer beaters to block parties, there's nothing as exciting as basketball. With Underdog, you can bring that excitement to wherever you watch. Playing on their app is as easy as choosing higher or lower on player stats like threes made, points, rebounds, and so much more. Get those selections right, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Millions of fans have won billions on Underdog. You gotta be next? Download the Underdog app and sign up now using that promo code TAP to unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with that promo code TAP. Claim your special offer today and you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 21st through 23rd at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test and buy big brands and enjoy new women's and kids programs Saturday at the show. Front door bonuses and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
Casey's has 8 new coffee roasts that have been described as having rich aromatics that entice any palate. But, we're not sure what that means, so we just call it darn good coffee. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. Now get a small hot coffee for 99 cents. See Casey's for details.
There are a ton of ways to kick off your day.
Gym grind, endless scroll, or snooze button life. But McDonald's has a deal that levels up your morning above the rest. Now at McDonald's, mix and match your choice of a fluffy sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles and sizzly sausage McMuffin with egg for just $5. With a deal this fire, there's no better way to upgrade your mornings than with a delicious breakfast. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Are you ready to start feeling your absolute best? I've got the perfect solution. Stretch Zone, your destination for practitioner-assisted stretching. Whether you're an athlete looking to enhance performance or someone seeking relief from the daily grind, Stretch Zone's personalized stretching sessions cater to all levels and lifestyles. Unleash your potential. Let Stretch Zone guide you to a healthier, more flexible you. 6 area locations. Book your session today at StretchZone.com. Stretch Zone. Stretch, work, play, repeat.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. 2-car crash southbound 35 at 18th Street Expressway. Although it is on the shoulder, seeing backups behind it. Further south, got emergency vehicles closing out the right lane southbound 35 just past 75th Street. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on new select XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast. Hurry to Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Justin Reed. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home of Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm going to tell you guys something about myself that you probably already know. It just seems very obvious because of the career path that I've chosen, but it seems very important for this topic. I really enjoy the sharing of sports opinions. I just love talking about sports. I love watching the sports. I love previewing them. I love reviewing them. I love coming up with random hypotheticals about situations about sports. It's my life's work. That's one side of it. I just love competition. I love watching two people compete at something. And if you're going to tell me that the people that I'm watching are the best at it, I'll give it a chance. I do not understand poker. I don't understand what makes your hand better than the other person's hand. I'm serious. I've never played poker a day in my life. I love watching the World Series of Poker. You were telling me these are the best poker players in the world, and I love the deception. I know knowing what cards you have. The other person doesn't know what cards you have. Rob, you've seen how they do poker. They put the percentages in the corner, so you got like a 15% chance of winning. But I love seeing the back and forth. I love the jostling. I love you trying to explain your way into a win. I love the mental warfare of it. I mean, I would say I am average at spelling. I'm not bad by any means at spelling. I also don't want to make it seem like I'm some scholar when it comes to spelling. I have a basic, solid foundation when it comes to spelling words. Now, there are words that I can't spell that everybody struggles with. I still can't spell convenience. I try to come up with synonyms to avoid that word. There's other words that I can't spell. Everybody has that word. But that word for me is convenience. Don't really know how to spell it. That's fine. I don't really understand soccer that much. Not a big fan. But this past Copa America, I was into it. I'm sitting there watching it and people are going crazy and they're screaming and they're yelling and I'm randomly picking a team. It seemed like it was a lot of fun. I'm only telling you guys this because I have no clue what's going to happen today in the hockey. I don't know anything about it. Honestly, I don't know the rules of hockey. All I know is icing. That's the only rule of hockey I know. I'm assuming there's other rules to the game. There's other things you can't do. I don't know anything about it. I don't know any of the players on the United States. I don't know the coach. I don't know the goaltender. I don't know what other leagues were in this 4 nations. It was 2 nations for me. I don't know the other 2 teams they were playing. I don't know who else I don't know anything about it. But you tell me that Team A doesn't like Team B and they're going to be playing in a hostile environment, I'll give it a chance. I'll try. I'm excited to watch hockey today. The game starts at 7? So we got an hour and a half. I'm going to go get myself something to eat. I'm going to head home. I'm going to sit in front of the television, and I'm going to at least watch the first period. I can't commit to watching the whole game. I don't know. Maybe it's worse than I think it's going to be. I'm not going into it with lofty expectations because I don't know what to expect. But I've seen high-end soccer, and if you were telling me that hockey is just soccer on ice, I think I can watch that for a couple hours. I don't mind watching high-level soccer. Now, I'm not watching just random New York Red Bulls against the Houston Dynamo. You didn't think I knew that, Rob. I look at that. I see you're impressed about my MLS knowledge. I'm not watching that at all. But I don't mind going out there to sporting. I've been to a couple current games. They're great in person. They're fun, and I can follow it, and I get it. I plan on watching hockey today. We're going to talk about hockey tomorrow. Maybe I like it so much, I'll adopt the team for the Stanley Cup. I'm just going to pick Vegas. They're the Golden Knights, right? They're kind of good. I'm just going to adopt them. I've already made a decision. Are they good this year?
They got one of the players on the USA tonight. You can double dip your fandom.
I'm in. That's all I needed then. I'm in.
I can't believe you've never been to a Knights game when you're out there. Supposedly they're a lot of fun.
I've been to maybe 3 or 4 Mavericks games, and I've been to 1 MLS preseason or NHL, preseason game. You know how, back in the old Kemper Arena days, how we would always get just like a random Blues preseason game? It would be like Blues, Blackhawks. I've been to that. I didn't really know what was going on, but I was happy to give it a chance. Hockey's not that bad in person. It's actually kind of fun. It's tough to watch on television if you don't know what you're watching. It's very difficult to watch. But today, you're telling me 2 all-star hockey teams. One is for the USA, so I at least give myself a team to cheer for. I'm at least going into it cheering for the home team. It's going to be a crazy environment. It's going to be a crazy crowd. The 2 teams don't like each other. They just had a fight last week. You know what? Hey, I'll check it out today. I also think it's going to rate very well. ESPN is putting the machine behind this one.
They're literally right now watching pregame. They are in Boston for pregame.
They got the machine by this one. ESPN got you to care about Caitlin Clark. Very simple. ESPN got you to care about a women's basketball player. You had never done that before. I'm not saying she's not worthy of it. I'm not saying she's a hooper. She is very fun to watch. It is clear that ESPN started to pump their resources toward building up women's sports because they had the NCAA tournament. And boy, did they turn her and Angel Reese into superstars. You know, when that machine gets pumping, you know that people will tune in. They've been telling you all day to watch hockey. Every time I get online, they've been telling you to watch hockey. They're posting clips from Miracle. They're posting clips from Mighty Ducks 2. You got me thinking, hey, you know what? This hockey thing might not be that bad. I'm watching it today. Rob, I even placed a wager on hockey. I wish I knew who could maybe score on the United States, which would make it more fun. But I don't mind putting a little money down on the USA money line. Hey, will America win today? Yeah, I don't mind that. I'll watch it.
Come on, bet on the puck line.
I don't know what that is.
It's the spread. You bet the spread.
Oh, okay. Well, I hear throwing too many big words at me. And since I don't know what they mean, I'm going to take them as a sign of disrespect. Don't ever say puck line to me again, all right? Please don't use those words. You want to call it the spread? Sure. Puck line? Give me an anytime goal. Who's going to score on the United States? Give me somebody I can root for to score.
I do have a bet on 1+ points alternate line for Jack Eichel. That means goal or assist.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was trying to piece it together.
I saw the wheels turn and I had your back.
Yeah. I just bet on Sidney Crosby in this thing, but I also don't want him to score because he plays for Canada.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. When you same game parlay Missouri, you're like, yeah, I think Mark Sears is going to have 15 tonight, but I like the Tigers. Can't do that.
No, I'm only betting for Missouri when I make a parlay. I'm only betting what I want to have happen, so I'm watching the game cheering for it. I'm certainly not cheering for, hey, DeJuan Harris, can you have 8 assists? No, that's not what I'm cheering for. That doesn't sound like a fun way to watch Missouri play basketball. I'm cheering for KJ Adams to score. No, thank you. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
March is almost here, and college basketball is reaching its most exciting stretch of the season. Right now, new customers on FanDuel get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 wager wins. That's $150 extra bucks to bet on everything from conference clashes to tournament upsets to even who you think is going to cut down the nets. You guys know I like my Missouri Tigers, and I got a feeling this could be the year that they make a deep run in the tournament. So don't wait anymore. And if you've been waiting to join FanDuel, there's no better time than the present. The app is easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ, use my promo code, and get in on the March basketball action. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus batch, which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Art Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Century Roofing is celebrating 35 years of protecting KC homes and has been voted best in Johnson County for the 3rd year in a row. If you've noticed signs of roof damage after last year's storms, don't wait. Schedule your inspection today. Our no-pressure, expert roofing team will assess the damage and help determine if it's time to file a claim. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based, female-owned Century Roofing. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com to book your inspection now.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line Gold Unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence.
Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Right now, get up to a $15 gift card after rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, a contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic brought to you by Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Call 913-768-7676 or ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com. Emergency vehicles closing the right lane, southbound 35 just past 75th Street. And we've got traffic backing up there off and on, all the way almost back to the state line. Some of it is traffic related, some of it is lane blockage related. Also looking at some slowdowns heading eastbound out of the triangle on 435. Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. February Valentine's special. Get one toilet, get a second one half off. Call Connolly, 913-768-7676 or ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Make sure to follow The Drive on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is very relevant because we were talking about the Royals television deal earlier. So ESPN and Major League Baseball have an opt-out deal in their television contract. They have both agreed mutually to opt out of that broadcast deal. ESPN, I guess let me start from the beginning because I said it wrong. ESPN and Major League Baseball have mutually agreed to opt out of their broadcast deal. Baseball is upset that ESPN doesn't really give baseball proper coverage, that they have basketball shows, they have football shows, they don't have a baseball show in that way. They have NBA Today, comes on every single day. They have NFL Live. They have shows for every other sport. They have a college game day show. Don't really have a baseball show. So Major League Baseball is mad about that. What this means is they agreed on a 7-year, $550 million annual deal in 2021. That deal is about to come to an end at the end of this season. Now, what does this mean? I think it means that ESPN is pretty clearly getting out of the national baseball business. I still think they'll have highlights. I think they'll reach some agreement. Like, you want some visibility on there. But I think ESPN is telling you, we don't believe our consumers turn on our network to watch baseball. We don't believe that our consumers turn on our television to hear baseball conversations. That's a pretty interesting stance for them to have. Now, where does baseball go on a national level if it's not going to be highlighted on ESPN? Because have your criticisms about ESPN. They might, during the day, there might be, debate shows and all this kind of stuff. Like, you got to have content, right? It's a 24/7 business. The expectation in the evening when you turn on ESPN is a game will be on, right? That's the expectation. If it's 7:30, you are not expecting a debate show. You are expecting some kind of game. Basketball, football, something. I'm not sure if it's going to be baseball moving forward. Now, I could see that ESPN just kind of dials back its coverage. Hey, we want baseball on in some capacity. Maybe we'll only be involved in Sunday Night Baseball and opening day, and we'll let you guys figure out the rest of it. We're heavily invested everywhere. Like, it's obvious where ESPN has kind of invested its money from a live rights television standpoint. They're heavily invested in the college football playoff. They're obviously invested in the National Football League. Monday Night Football, they spend a lot of money, and you need, obviously, rights for the highlights. They spend a lot of money on football, a lot of money on college football. They're invested pretty heavily in the NBA, and that's kind of about it. Like, they've made their pivot on what they think the business model is for them. This is pretty intriguing that as of right now, there is not an agreement between ESPN and Major League Baseball for next season. It sounds to me like Apple and Roku are trying to put a deal together to kind of take over the ESPN package. It's bad news for Major League Baseball if one of their packages, one of their main significant packages, is on Roku. It used to be on ESPN. Talking about Baseball Tonight, Web Gym, Sunday Night Baseball. Roku is about to have that package. I've always said this. I will never come on here and tell you that I think baseball is dying. Baseball is not dying. It is not dying on a local, regional level. The Royals matter. The Cardinals matter, the Cubs matter, the Yankees matter. They matter in their market. I don't know if America is turning on Tuesday to watch Braves and Rangers. I don't think they're turning on Tuesday in the summer to do that. And I think ESPN is telling you from a financial standpoint, we don't believe that's why people are doing this, and we're not giving you this money anymore. They pay $550 million a year to broadcast baseball. They're not doing that. And they also don't get the World Series. No, we ain't paying for that no more. I'll be very intrigued to see what the future of baseball looks like from a national perspective on television. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. Great day. So happy about the Missouri Tigers. Rob deep down is happy about them as well. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Facing displacement can be an overwhelming and uncertain time, whether it's due to a job transfer, unexpected life changes, or unforeseen circumstances. The Sharp Homes team, they're here to provide stability and support. My friend Dawn Sharp can help you get through the home buying and selling process.